We're live. Let's hear it.
Ooh.
What kind of scam does a flying monster run? What kind of scam does a flying monster run?
Okay.
I've never guessed any one of these correctly.
Yeah.
Grift. Thank you.
Oh no, I missed it.
Oh, you cut out right at the
It cut out,
punchline.
yeah.
All I heard was
Grift. Unfortunately, I've forgotten the punchline. No, a hippogriff.
Oh,
I was wondering why no one reacted.
Yeah, it was just like. Oh my god.
Nice.
a hippogriff. just like, well, that was the worst one yet. Yeah. We're all like waiting. You gonna say it?
Saxa says, nice hat,
Thank you.
to which I agree. Not exactly what I had in mind, fashion-wise, but what do I know?
Yeah.
It's...
It's
Your
sun
Rasta hat in
protection
the
there.
desert sounds like hell. I know.
It's cold at night in the desert,
my God.
okay? Cold. It's cold at night. All right?
Okay.
Just two hats. You could have two hats. Your night hat and your day hat. There you go.
This music is just like we're gonna go ahead and tone that down for a second. Welcome everyone with Bad Plans D&D crew. My name is Jay, the Dungeon Master, and this is the fantastic party. This is episode 21 of The Long Death, our homebrew D&D campaign in the world of Lydian. We're live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central here on Twitch. If you miss an episode, you can always find us on YouTube. And if you're not already subscribed over there, please do. It helps us out a lot. And if you're kind enough to follow us here on Twitch, that helps us out a lot as well as we grow.
Do it.
Do it.
That's all. Just
That's all.
typing.
That's...
Yeah.
I thought I had an audio echo for a second. I'm like, what is happening? What is going on?
It's just Jesse in your brain.
Yeah, it's like I'm like hearing
Jay,
Jeshy in my subconscious. Like, did I
hippogriff.
say that out loud? What is happening? Anyway,
Hippogriff.
yes, thank you. We appreciate all the follows, and of course, if you're subscribed to the channel, we love you. Thank you very much for doing that. And we have, what do we got for updates this week? Anybody got anything? We got a little merch situation.
Did you know we have merch? Because we got merch.
merch? We got some merch.
We have hats now?
We have
Oh my gosh, please,
Ziggy
let's
Rasta
get it.
hats.
Yes.
We also have Guy Fieri cookbooks. Something soup.
Nice. And something soup.
I don't know. That Photoshop creeped me out. I was like, I don't want to meet this person in real life.
The smile. The best
Yeah,
thing
I
about
think so.
photoshopping Jeshy is just the smile makes every single picture, regardless
Oh my
of the
gosh.
situation. The artist really completely nailed that. It was beautiful. All right, well, we'll get right into a recap then. Last week, you arrived at Catel's Oasis, where you were able to rest, bathe, and get some more of that delicious Bali stew. You even managed to sweet-talk an old lady into giving you the recipe and a bundle of glassweed, the native desert herb used to make it. You met Idris, who rented you his finest yurt at the very fair price of 1 gold per night. There was Marrakesh, a shrewd scrapper who trades old metal and parts found in the desert in exchange for goods, supplies, and food. There was Nadi, a middle-aged woman who spoke no common, but eagerly helped Bellarissa find a new hat to keep the blazing sun out of her sensitive drow eyes. And finally, you met Catel, the leader of the Oasis, and the group that protects it, the Sidewinders. Catel was surprised to hear you'd ventured out of the deep dunes and hadn't been traveling by road. Nobody ever travels through the dunes, she told you, amused at your perspective on risk. You learned that the Oasis was neutral ground. Nobody fights here, not the Bali, not the Centaurs, not the Tinker or his machines. No blood is shed on these grounds under penalty of death. The Oasis is a safe haven, a place for rest and recuperation. You learned that between Lazanax, the dragon in the north, and the Tinker in the west, Catel and the Bali were slowly being squeezed. She was conflicted. The Tinker's work in the west had certainly reduced the number of undead to almost nothing, but at what cost? The machines, endlessly digging for who knows what, had become more aggressive and dangerous, but they were nothing compared to the savagery and horror of the undead. The tinker had never shown himself at the oasis. He did all his business through his lieutenant, Valk, who was due to arrive here tomorrow for one of their regular meetings. Apparently the dragon had become quite a nuisance to their operations, and Valk wanted to discuss options. Cattell mentioned dealing with the dragon wouldn't really be all that difficult for her and her crew, but the risk to the oasis was too great for her taste. Perhaps Valk had other plans, though. She'd have to wait and see. Toward the end of the day, you had a bath, another bite to eat, and went back to your very affordable and extremely fair-priced yurt to discuss the dealings of the day. Not long after, Kinz, you heard a noise outside, and you have just caught the glimpse of someone running off as if they were listening to your conversation. You can just make them out in the dim light of dusk, running back towards the still crowded market. So, what's the plan?
I think since Jessie was the only one that had a bath, my suspicions are true. All the recaps are just his brain narrating what happened before.
Yes.
Jade voice.
By the way, I noted in the recap that I had an additional meal after the bath, and I'm very happy about this.
Oh, you did? Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yes, more food.
All right, I will turn back to the others and say, because I'm the one who saw this, someone was listening, and I'm gonna just dash out after them.
What?
And I'm immediately
gone.
following.
Nope,
I
I'm done.
No.
I'm done.
I run
Goodbye.
after as well.
Belrissa bolts out the
Jessie.
door.
I'm drying my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Don't fight.
Sorry, what?
See you later.
I'm aware.
I was
but-
listening. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm out as well. Like triple dash. If we see them, if you
Triple
say that
dash.
we can see movement, then yeah, like
Okay. As the three of you bolt outside the flapping sort of tent/door of the yurt, you get outside. Everybody make a perception check. Vinadil, Belrissa, Kinz. Looking around. Trying to see what's going on.
Looking at.
ouch.
Okay.
I cannot
Ooh,
see the rolls. Please call them out.
18.
Sorry.
A 5?
14.
Belrissa kind of stumbles out the door and like bumps into the back of Kinz. It's like, what's going on? And your hat's kind of in your face, you know, like covering your eyes. Then you got a 14?
14, yep.
Cool. Okay. And you said 18, right, Kinz? Mm-hmm. Great. Okay. So as you run out, you actually are out there just in a flash, and you can see what looks to be somebody on the smaller side, maybe like a teenager or even a kid younger than that, is basically dashing kind of back towards the crowded area, and he's maybe like 100 feet from the edge of the tent when you see him. Are you gonna chase?
Do we catch up to him?
Yeah, is that your intent?
Yeah,
okay.
I want to follow.
Okay, cool. Make an athletics check to just dash after this guy. And
Come on, kids. 11.
11. Okay. Belrissa, Vin. Go ahead. You guys are
Can I
just.
make
I'm
an acrobatics check?
Yeah, you can make an acrobatics check. So you kind of like.
Ooh, I will
where
do that
you're-
as well.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So you like parkour your way, basically.
That's
like
right.
You're you like jump up, grab a tree, and like do like a giant around it, and like flip off. You know, do a gainer, kind of land.
It's a
hero
very
stance.
stylish chase.
You're like urban chase through the market. You
It's
know.
like The Office, the intro to that.
What did you roll though? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I rolled a 12.
A 12. Okay. So you do all sorts of fancy stuff, but kind of end up right where you started, like not quite, closer to the guy. But it was really cool.
I got a 17.
17.
For my parkour.
Excellent. So you kind of like you do like a, you're like swinging across stuff, and you're diving, you're James Bond sliding, across tables and stuff. And Kinz, what did you get?
11.
11. Okay. So you are all chasing him, and Belrissa, you managed to kind of jump over like a bunch of people and like kind of like land, and you managed to get into the middle of this crowded area, and you just kind of reach up and you grab what you realize now is a kid, and you kind of grab his shoulder, and he looks back like terrified, like never considered that you would catch him. And is looking up, and it's probably like maybe a 10-year-old boy who's just looking at you with sheer terror.
I immediately squat down to his level and grab him, gently grab him by both shoulders. So he's not running away, but I'm not trying to like intimidate him.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, "Why were you listening to us?"
No, I was, I put it,
What did you put there?
a letter.
I take his hand. Come show me.
And he's like
And
shaking.
I bring him back to the yurt. Come show me what you put. It's okay.
You bring him back, and you notice for the first time that on the side of the door there is a piece of parchment rolled up and pinned to the outside of the door.
And I look at him like, don't go anywhere. And take out the piece of paper.
Okay.
And I've got my eye on him so he doesn't run away.
It's a note. It's written in common. And I'll post the note in Discord for everybody. But I will also read it. Actually, is there a good way for... Let's see. I'll just read it to you, so you don't have to pull up Discord. The note reads, "It is strange to see you up and walking about, considering I was the one who dug your lifeless body from the sands before the wizard took it. If you're headed west, we should speak before you do. You can find me here in the oasis, in the caves beyond the pool."
I look around for Vin.
Yeah, I'm looking around like
He's still swinging around like a tree, like just getting more momentum. You can't figure out how to slow down.
Oh my gosh.
I
It was
asked.
strange to see you walk.
Like,
It's much
did you-
stranger.
did you catch him?
Yeah, he's
Who's he
right-
working for?
He's right here. He was not a spy. He was a delivery boy.
Yeah.
Who had you deliver this?
A man paid me in sweets to give this.
Okay. All right. You're okay. Maybe
And he
we
slowly
can-
starts to back up, like, and he just bolts.
all right.
The second he seems like he has a chance, he's gone.
Wait,
I taught-
what kind of sweets?
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I'm like, well, now we have to stop to get sweets. But like,
I tossed the note to Vin. I think this is yours. It talks about your body.
dug me up.
From the sands?
I'm thinking like your body, not like you.
Yeah.
Before it was your body.
Maybe it was original you.
No, we know where my body is.
Did you die before this other death? 'Cause it's
No.
possible.
Oh my gosh. Two bins.
Cue existential 30-minute conversation.
That's right.
Vinadial.
Oh my gosh.
Vinception.
dial.
Well, I mean, we had already had suspicion that might have been where this body came from.
Mm-hmm.
How did Raikkonen made it this far, didn't he? Or wait, no, Raikkonen made it all the way into the Tinker's.
He did, because that's where he stole the
place.
power core.
'Cause that's where he got the power core.
Or maybe Raikkonen like traded for your body here.
Yeah. That's well.
Also, another theory, tossing it back out there. Maybe Raikkonen is the Tinker.
Oh.
Knew it was coming.
Yeah.
90% chance.
Are you going to go talk to this person?
Of course, we're gonna go talk to this person. But first, we're gonna see who
Okay,
this person
we were
is.
all scared that someone was going to grab you when we first got here, and now you're like, yeah, let's go.
Someone's definitely going to grab me. But it's I
Okay,
mean that part's
well.
already too. We're there now.
I think we'll be okay with it.
To
be fair, you grab a lot of people yourself.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
And
true.
puppies.
Centaurs.
Oh,
But
dear.
I'm thinking perhaps I don't want to just walk in there.
He doesn't seem. The note doesn't seem malicious.
Oh, and this place
Notes
does.
rarely do, I feel.
I mean, it's
Lost
not
in
like
the
a
text.
threat.
I guess death threats. Yeah, good point. Never mind.
Well, what would make you feel comfortable, Vin? What would you prefer?
Oh no, I'd love to be able to
We
get
can
eyes
send
on this
invisible
person.
Ziggy with you.
Could send invisible Ziggy to pre-scout it. That's a good
Also,
idea.
Kinz has to read tonight.
Yeah.
Got book
Man,
plans.
how long is this gonna take?
Well, I mean, you could stay here. We probably don't all have to go. I mean, this place
Okay. If you say so.
this place is pretty safe. I mean, I don't think someone's going to try to attack me in the middle of this camp.
Well, there's no violence. Oh, but this is beyond the pool. Is this still in the camp?
No, it's still in the camp. It's
think so.
because
Oh, yeah, it
it's
says in
back
the
into the
Oasis.
edge. Yeah.
I'm sitting here working on this head. Have a nice time.
Yeah, you'll be great.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I'll go, Vin. Me and
Alright.
Tick. And Jessie. Cool.
Strange. Something's in the sand, man. Still in my robot body.
Every time Vin
Yeah.
moves, it's like
Yeah.
it's just grinding, just gritty sound. Just sounds painful.
So what, Belrissa? You're gonna go?
Yeah. Yeah, I want to know who mystery
Split
person
the
is.
party. Split
Thorkum,
the
are you staying here? Or are you going?
I got work to do.
All right. Jesse, you still cleaning up? You want?
No,
you
I'm
want
coming
sweets,
with
don't
you.
you?
I'm coming
yeah,
with
you
you.
want.
Yeah,
you want
yeah,
sweets.
yeah.
It's coming halfway. Been getting lost.
I mean,
I have,
Alright.
a good, I have a nice cookie recipe I could trade, so I'm
Nice.
ready.
Well, let's see if we can't have Ziggy put eyes on this guy before we get in there. But we might as well make our way over. What time is it, Jay?
It's like dusk. The sun is beginning to set, so it's not fully dark yet.
Okay, so we still have some time before it's truly night. Okay.
Do you mind if we stop somewhere on the way to the cave?
The
It's
smallish place. Yeah, might as well.
Okay. I want to go find the hat lady again. Not Naughty.
Okay. It's about a 5-minute walk. You're able to find her, and she's just she's back there. It's kind of towards the end of the day, and the market is still kind of happening as everybody's out grabbing dinner and that kind of thing. But you can tell that she's kind of getting towards the end and starting to clean up and put things away. She looks over and
You're like, hey, thanks for the hat. Hey, I've got something for you. It's only gonna last until. And I point at the sun, and then I like this, and then I say, then and poof. But look, so
make a no, actually don't. Make a performance check as you are basically
Oh man.
ad hocing sign language here, trying to
I
describe.
secretly hope it goes poorly.
12.
12. So
It's
she
not terrible.
You can tell she's like she's trying real hard here, but it's like
All right. So I look at Weasel, and I tell him, I pick him up, I'm gonna put him on the table.
Offer wheeze.
she goes.
Wait.
Oh no.
All right, I whisper to Weasel, do a little spin dance, and then I subtle spell some prestidigitation, little fireworks around Weasel, and Weasel spins, and then
She's-
takes a little bow.
And she starts speaking rapidly in a language you don't understand, but she seems very excited and it jumps and it runs up her arm. And she's just like, and then it kind of stops right here, and she goes,
But remember, it's only he'll poof away at sunrise, but he's cool for a while.
and she just starts like,
Yeah, I mean, for a little while.
just, and she reaches out and she just reaches forward and hugs you.
Aww.
then-
I'll hug her back.
She comes back and she like adjusts your hat and she puts her hand on your cheek and she pets Weasel. And she seems very happy, unclear if she understands the whole,
The poof thing.
situation. But yeah, you just made her night. She's got a new Weasel.
All right, we can go to the caves now. I felt bad. I didn't give her anything, and I know like he's not gonna last forever, but it was fun.
That was one of the weirdest exchanges I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Who was that woman?
Oh, it's not who I got the hat from.
Oh,
Yeah. On your like fourth bowl of stew, we were, seeing other
Over
parts
here
of
doing
the
I
business.
regret
the
nothing.
village. Yeah, yeah.
I totally thought it was the cook. I thought that weasel was gone.
And in the stew tomorrow, there was a faint taste of weasel.
The prestidigitation subtly was pretty clutch. That was
you.
nice.
All right, let's let's go towards so the way I'm picturing it is like we have the pool, right? And then he said he's somewhere like back behind the pool.
Yeah, the pool kind of backs up against a large butte, and then there's sort of
Right.
rocks around it, so you can walk around the edge. And you noticed this as you were the yurts and kind of the main, residential area. It's kind of a tent city, but if you can imagine that, the non-market area, I should say, is kind of back and adjacent to the pool. And then in the opposite direction, you can kind of walk around the side of it, and you haven't explored over there yet, but you would guess that's what he's talking about.
All right, why don't we just kind of hang out here by the pool, get a little something to drink, and see if Ziggy can find this guy.
Yeah. Hey, Zig.
Hey,
You wanna be useful?
I wanna be useful.
Okay.
All right, you're not gonna sell me to some lady, are you?
No.
Because
you're
when
far
I,
too valuable for
listen,
that.
when I talk about useful, and you're also you're not gonna make me, fly for like 100 miles in the sun either, right? You see the
No.
sunburn I got here?
I know, it's-
I got no fur, It's real bad.
I'll put some aloe on you later.
But I would like to be useful. Yes.
Okay.
What
So-
do you need me to do?
So there's a cave over there behind the waterfalls. Do you see it?
Hey, yeah,
So there-
I see it.
There's
yeah.
a guy in there who's waiting for us. I just want you to check him out. Let's make
You
sure
want me
he's
to
not
pee on him,
No,
maybe
don't.
mark my territory. Listen, is this kind of like we're kind of telling him, hey, we run this place now? Is that what you know?
No.
No,
Just look. Let's just observe for a few minutes.
just
See
observe.
what he's all about.
Just observe. You're gonna is Vinadil gonna stab this guy?
I
And trying to
hope
observe
not.
the try to set up a whole,
I mean, it's always a possibility, but it'd be really bad. if he
always a
did.
possibility. Yeah, I agree. Okay, and he goes invisible, and you just kind of for a few seconds you hear the scratching of the dirt, and then he's gone. I'm assuming you guys are at least up at the edge of the pool, kind of in that general area. Maybe
Yeah, drinking some water.
a little
drinking some
fishing.
water.
I don't know, whatever. Just killing some time.
Belrissa, most pets aren't that antagonistic.
I'm not sure he qualifies as a pet.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, he's worse.
There's definitely some sort of,
Enslavement.
demon spirit link here. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I
he's
see.
he's nice enough, but I don't think pet is the term that fits Ziggy.
Okay.
He's a companion.
Hmm.
He's all of our companion, but mostly
Somehow
mine.
spirit bonded to an evil deity of sorts. But
What are we? Are we companions?
Yes.
I'm a companion
Friend.
to you? Friend,
Well,
okay, good. I'm above Ziggy. This is
Yes.
good.
yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
This is good.
Okay.
Just don't let him
that's
hear that.
acceptable.
All right, so
All right, I'm gonna
Oh, well,
watch through Ziggy's eyes.
okay.
Okay. Basically, Ziggy's able to find there. It's not hidden. It's not guarded. It's actually quite open, and you kind of realize that as he's walking, that this is sort of part of the oasis, and it looks like the caves kind of go down, and some of the the water has eroded away some of the area, and there's sort of a kind of a large area down here, and there's people milling about, and you can see that there's these alcoves that have been kind of cut into the walls, and there's people who seem to either live or work down here. It's kind of unclear from Ziggy's low to the ground perspective, but he kind of he's walking around, and you can see that there are basically like there's people kind of milling about, but as you get a little further in, there's one alcove in particular where there seems to be a man who's probably, he looks human, looks older, maybe in his 60s, who is just kind of sitting patiently, kind of maybe reading or something like that.
Does he look dangerous?
I don't think you would think him as dangerous. He's basically just sitting there. He's got some kind of dressed like all the rest of the Bali. You don't see any weapons or anything. Just kind of sitting there.
All right, Vin, what do you want to know about this guy?
I just don't want to walk into some kind of trap. Like, we're going to walk in and some like cage is going to come down on me and I'm going to be taken off to the tinker or whatever, sold for scrap parts,
All right.
So
Ziggy, look around, see if there's anyone like hiding, waiting to jump out.
All right, make a perception check for Ziggy. Using his stats.
His stats.
Which I assume is how that works. For him.
Perception.
Sometimes with the whole Pact of the Chain stuff, like, are you technically looking through your... It's like you looking through his eyes. So
Yeah.
whose stats do you use?
I don't know.
Probably his in this case.
Which is it? Is perception...
Wisdom.
Maybe
Wisdom.
wisdom, yeah. And sometimes they'll have a bonus, but if it doesn't say so, then he doesn't.
18.
18, okay. So he's invisible, so he can just walk around. He can kind of beats his wings, flaps around, trying to be quiet. But he, you definitely don't. It's hard to like properly investigate every nook and cranny, but there's definitely nothing obvious, trap-wise or danger-wise here.
All right. Vin, I think it's safe. No traps, no bad people. Just an old guy.
just an old guy digging up robots in the desert.
I mean, that's what they do, is they dig up things in the desert here.
Just like our camel. All right. Well, let's go say hi. Did he have a name? Did that paper have a name? I can't remember. There's
I
just
think it did.
some guy. Okay. With sweets.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'll fill up my water skin. As I do, Belrys, I know you haven't been drinking any water, but this water is amazing. Have you noticed the water that Kinz makes for us? Kind of.
I mean, it's got a smell.
Yeah, it's a little stinky.
Trash berries and breakwater.
I wouldn't say it's bad, but sometimes I've had a glass and it's a mug filled with water and you leave it out overnight and then if you drink it the next morning, it's there's something
Ooh.
yeah.
But it's water. It's okay.
Yeah. We should see if she drinks this water, if we can have her practice to make this water, because this water.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. We can have her.
I think you suggest that though.
Okay, and I've actually started to like the berries, but not sure why.
Berries growing on you. All right, well, let's keep going.
Yeah, they're kind of weird.
Hey.
I like it.
A smooth stone path runs along the back wall of the pool and slowly spirals down into a set of semi-hidden hallways and caverns below. The water here has been carving rock for eons, and paths have formed and reformed, a spider web of pathways below the pool. More curious is that the work of men and elves and dwarves can be seen in bits of buttress, stone arches, and wooden doors. The sound of water dripping creates a symphony of echoes that drown out your footsteps and the clank of your armor. It's a strange sensory deprivation, but not unpleasant. It's also cooler down here. The temperature, and there's something comfortable about the space. A dim light glows from one of the alcoves, spilling out from beneath a door flap made of hide. As you approach, Belrissa, you feel Ziggy, still invisible, but kind of, pushing up against your leg to let you know he's here.
All right, Vin. I think this is it. Do you want to go first?
Jeshi, is
Yes.
that dwarven architecture that we passed?
Yeah, it looked like a little bit. Yeah, there were some other languages too I didn't recognize.
Have we We haven't seen any dwarves though, right? We're the
No,
only.
we didn't.
You guys
I
are the only
looked
two
around
dwarves.
yesterday or earlier today. Yeah,
Are there stories of dwarves down here in the past?
dwarves have been
That's just-
everywhere. We're hardy folk.
No, that's true. I guess this continent used
Plus,
to
like,
be
if there was trading here, you know.
The dwarves were the ones to settle this entire continent.
the entire continent.
So at
Okay.
one point, they were prolific and pretty much
Okay.
everywhere.
Interesting.
Plus, like, I don't think this particular oasis has been here like in this form for very long. Because like, unless Cattell is super old, I don't know. Or maybe like there's just a line of Cattells.
Yeah.
Tower after Cattell.
Yeah. Now finding
Yeah.
the person who is named after
Could
a
I
thing.
read anything in the Dwarvish?
There's not any writing.
Okay.
And
Just the architecture style.
yeah, and it's not even necessarily dwarven architecture. It's just that you get hints of, you kind of get the hints that of all the things that are built and kind of arranged, it's not just dwarvish. It's not just elvish. It looks like at some point there was kind of a
Influences.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I see. That's
that a lot of different people were either here at once or maybe here over a long period of time and contributed to what this place
I mean, I
is.
guess that makes sense. That water is really good, man. I mean, like, I would definitely come here again. If I was
And
in
who
the
knows how
area.
long this desert's been here. But you're saying also there's a mix of like worked pathways and then stuff that's just been carved out by water.
Pretty much. It kind of seems like the water probably originally created these caverns,
Yeah.
and then that they've sort of expanded upon them and
Okay.
carved out different areas and made them a bit more livable.
Jesse, do you want to start this off with talking about his sweets, or do you want to go straight into the letter that he sent for us?
Jesse, make a perception check
Okay.
with advantage.
Okay. 16.
16. Something there's a very sweet, delicious, almost like when you walk into a bakery, you know, like that kind of like this almost overwhelming like sense of something really delicious coming
Vin,
from
I smell
clearly where
smell
this guy
vanilla.
is. You
I
also
smell vanilla.
You also hear something like
I hear
almost like
vanilla.
a clicking, which it's subtle, but like a lot of clicking. It's really, you have no idea what it is, but your senses are like dialed in right now as you're like following your nose through these caverns.
I mean, I'm sure sweets will come up organically, but I can lead with it if you need me to.
Okay. All right. Well, I assume
Be
Ziggy's
like,
saying this is the
Oh,
place.
hey, this is
Yeah.
my ghost robot. Also, what are your thoughts on Skittles?
Yes. All right. Let's go into the room.
Or reverse. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and open up the. You said there's just like a
Yep. As you approach,
kind of a skin there.
yeah, pretty much. There's just like a skin, yeah, pretty much a skin hanging across, and you're able to slide it out of the way. It's a relatively small area, maybe 20 by 30 feet, kind of carved in. There's a man in here, basically matches the description Ziggy gave you. He's probably a 60-year-old human. He's got kind of salt and pepper, mostly gray hair, but it's pulled back and tied in what looks like pretty thick dreadlocks. He's wearing just sort of brown, kind of traditional Bali garb. As you were walking in, it looks like he was in the middle of, towards the back of the room, there are these wooden, what looked almost like apiary type crates, and you can see that there are little insects kind of skittering all over them. And he slides down what looks to be a tray with some sort of yellow substance on it. And there's definitely this incredibly sweet, very enticing smell from this room. And he kind of slides something down and looks over, and without looking back, kind of closes the cover on this box thing. And there's about 6 or 8 of them back up against this wall, and the rest of the room is it looks to be kind of like a small workshop. There's kind of an apothecary type cabinet. There's a taller, what would you call it? Just like a tall cabinet that has bits of tools and accoutrement in it. But this man, He turns to you, doesn't seem alarmed at all. He's clearly expecting you. And he says, "Amusing to see you here. The lost one. Come back to the sands once again." And he kind of smiles, and as he looks over in the kind of flickering candlelight, you can see his face is scarred, and it's wrinkled and sun-worn. And this is a man who, just immediate at first glance, the first thing you think of is this is a man who spent his life in the sun and in the harsh terrains of the desert. But he has, at the same time, has a kind look, and he smiles and nods. And he says, "Please, come in. Sit."
Great, thanks.
Are there chairs, or does he just take a seat on the floor?
We'll say there's some, there's not like four, it's three of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
The three of you are there. We'll say he's able to move some crates over and kind of create a space for you. This is clearly not a place where people come and meet and talk very often, so he's kind of moving stuff around, but he's able to create some space for you. And he walks over and he says, "Can I offer you some tea?"
Yes.
I'd love some.
So he walks over and he's got what looks to be a small kettle, and he starts to make some tea for you. And he just silently takes him a few minutes, and he doesn't say anything. And he just takes his time and is making you tea. What's everybody doing? How are you guys feeling right now?
I'm looking at
Not
Vin.
thirsty. Yeah. I'll talk to him while he's making the tea, and just say, you clearly seem to recognize us, perhaps me, but we don't know you. Seem to be at a loss. Do you have a name, friend?
He, without looking away from the kettle, as he's now started to come to a boil, and he's got a handful of glasses, and he's just arranging the tea. And he says, without looking away from that, he kind of says over his shoulder, "My name is Gabor. Gabor Bani." And he turns and he says, and he hands each of you a glass, and he says, "It's very nice to meet you. And you. And you." And he reaches back and he grabs what looks to be a little sort of a wooden tray. And on this tray are little pieces of what look to be crystallized, almost like a honey-like substance. And he puts the tray down, and he holds the tray out and basically offers each of you a piece.
Oh, yes, please, thank you. Yes.
Grab it. Do we eat it, or does it go in the tea?
He grabs a piece and he just kind of bites a piece off of it. It's basically like a hard candy, ultra sweet, and very, very, very good.
Rock salt. I don't take any of the things. I don't take tea. I don't take the candy.
Vin, this is amazing. I'm sorry. Maybe we can save some for when you get your body back.
It's ixnay on the
This might
Bay.
This might be better than the berries.
He says, Vin, he looks up, kind of addressing your question finally, and he says, what would he say? He says, he kind of looks at you, actually, before he says anything. And he's looking into your eyes. And he kind of tilts his head, and he says, "Was it always you in there?"
Did this body move of its own accord when you last saw it?
The body never moved, no. We did not think them alive. So to see one walking as you do. Most of them up there, they never seen this. They don't know what I know.
What do you know?
He takes a sip of tea and he says, when we found you in the sand, this body was lifeless, inert. But even the Bali, we could tell something was different. He takes another sip of tea, seems to be choosing his words, and he says, somebody went to great trouble to take you, or take your body away from the desert. I am very curious why now you have come back.
So you didn't sell this body to anyone? Or trade it to the tinker?
He thinks on your question for a second and he says, no. No. The one who took this body from the tinker made a great enemy that day.
The tinker had this body?
Your body is the reason the tinker is here in the first place, huh? And when it was taken from him, everything changed.
How long ago was that?
Maybe 2 years, 2.5 years.
Oh boy. And can you explain more about where you found this body? We've only been in the desert for a short time. As it turns out, we've been able to explore a couple of ruins. Doesn't seem like bodies like this are all that prevalent. What kind of place was it where you found it?
Not many Bali go to the west. It's very dangerous. The sandstorms like you never saw. The undead, the monsters. The west is danger, they say. The Gabo, he goes west. We were traveling 2 years ago, looking for something, anything. Those were difficult times. There was not much food and the dead ravaged all. We were on the brink of finding something we knew. But the sandstorm, the biggest I ever saw, it came that night. We needed to find shelter. We did. The next morning, we awoke and the storm had passed. And a ruin had been uncovered. It was what he's thinking of the word ziggurat. Massive, large. Much of the top had been uncovered, and we knew we had found something. We sent word back to the oasis. We needed more men, more tools, more people to help us dig. Gabor and I stay there with my party. We keep digging, we keep looking. We could not get very much dug, and within maybe 2-3 weeks, ships began arriving from the south. Word had gotten out that something big had been found. Scores of men, led by someone named Valk, began excavating the ruin. we of course helped. They had tools, they had manpower that we did not have, more than the Bali had ever seen in the desert. And within a few weeks we had uncovered the doors, and we had found an ancient Tulisian ruin, the biggest ever uncovered in the desert. I knew just from looking. Something was different about this place, huh? You could feel, how you say, on your skin, huh?
Goosebumps.
Yes, just something about this place. It make you feel like that, and we knew something great. We finally got the doors open as more and more of these men and these ships arrive from the river. And inside this place we find you. We find you, and we find several more just like you. I could tell from the reaction that none like this had ever been seen by Valk, by these men. And it was then that they brought in this man who we know as the Tinker. He was arriving shortly thereafter in large carriage. We weren't allowed to see him, but apparently he was the one who commanded all of these men, funded these things. We were rewarded generously for helping uncover the bodies, but the next day, one of them was stolen. One of them had gone missing. Not 2 days after Tinker arrives, and he's very angry. The camps were in this uproar, and right from under their noses this thing disappeared. And of course they blame the Bali. They say, yeah, of course you stole this thing, And we say, no, we did not. And very angry, and we are banished from this place. Shortly after, I watch as these defenses, they go up, they build a wall, they dig a large hole, just making sure nobody come anywhere near the place, And we were never allowed to go there again.
Did the Tinker have robots with him when he first came here? Or did he start building those after?
Robots,
the other mechanical, the lesser mechanical monsters.
The machines, yes.
Yeah, those guys.
Some, not like is now. They are everywhere. There were some, mostly men, helping then. Now very few men, mostly machines.
How many of this model were there?
The room we uncover, 3.
But only one got stolen.
I was not there to see, but it is one stolen they are upset about. And
Do I believe this story?
you can make an insight check.
Aw, 17.
17. I would say that you heartily believe the story so far. This guy is he seems eager to tell his tale, hence sending you this note, and eager for someone to listen.
So, you've been kind enough to answer our questions. I'll answer one of yours. No, I was not in this body when you found it. How much do you know about this plague of the undead that we've all experienced these last 80 plus years, probably your whole life, I would assume? What is the general thought among the Bali of what happens when someone dies?
When the Bali die, we go back to the sands. And... well, that is... that is what is meant to happen. Now, when the Bali die, sometimes they come back. And it's very dangerous. That is why many Bali, they cling to their safety. They fear the life. They fear the very thing that makes us Bali. They fear it. They do not go. They stay. They want to feel comfort, have food, have safety. This is what the Tinker has done to us in exchange for his endless supply of food and equipment and blankets and whatever the Bali need. All we need to do is stay here and slowly die off, lose our culture, lose what we once were, lose everything that makes us.
So is that why there is no trade here? Why things are just given away? Or is this all supported by the Tinker?
The Tinker gives whatever the Bali need. And in exchange, whatever is found is given to him.
What about Cattell?
Kind of looks up and his facial expression changes. Cattell is a good woman. She protects the Bali, even though she is not one of. She has worked to make a safe place for all. That's all he says.
So why did you send the note? Was it just curiosity?
Kind of looks in it and he says, when I was in the West, I would often travel back to see what was happening, perhaps get a new look. It is difficult to explain, but this is the greatest thing I've discovered in my life, and it was taken from us, and I needed to know more what was going on there. The Tinker had dug what was a very large hole, like a river of a hole.
A moat.
Yes, a moat around, and with machines, he corrals the undead into holes. There is massive holes surrounding this place, filled with thousands of the undead, the Drywalkers. And he destroys them. And you hear this thing and you say, yes, destroying the undead. But no, if you had seen what I had seen, nobody should have done this. I speak out here. I come back. I try to say, hey, this guy's help? No. It's bad for us, bad for Bali. You've seen what this guy's doing? It's only a matter of time, He's using us. But everybody here, they're safe. They got food. They got everything they need. Pretty soon, Gabor, I am pariah. I'm outcast. I'm too old to be out there by myself. So I'm down here in caves. Now you show up, yeah? The very thing causes Gabor all these problems, huh? Now you're just here. I don't understand. why are you here?
Yeah,
kinda looked
mostly
at-
for soup.
The soup is good, huh? It's really good.
I mean, it's true. Our friend does have a penchant for finding great recipes and bringing them back. I mean, clearly you must know we're not from these parts. I don't know how long it's been since you've seen a dwarf. And we travel with two. And, well, I was a dark elf at one time. Do you know what it is that the Tinker is doing with those undead? And their connection to these mechanical creatures he sends all across the sands?
I, at one point, was very curious. I tried to find more, but what's the point, eh?
Well, it's our understanding that he's actually taking those undead and putting them into these machines. That he's not a totally benevolent friend, which it seems you've already uncovered, but that his actual desire is to somehow gain control over the undead and perhaps even the living. See, I'm a very unique version of these machines. I mean, you've said it yourself, you don't normally have conversations with them. That's because I used to be in a body that looks much more like hers, and I'll point over at Belrissa. And the man who stole this machine was able to help me find my way back whenever I stopped living. You know that not everybody goes to where they're supposed to. And we don't have to talk about what you believe about the afterlife, but we all know it's broken. But what you might not know is not everybody turns into what we've all seen, the dry walkers. Some come back as spirits who wander the earth. That was me, until I was found in this body. It's not a good thing, which is probably what you're thinking to yourself. We were never meant to have our spirits shackled to these creatures, and it's not going to last for long. But we're afraid that the Tinker is trying to connect spirits to his machines. And that is why we're here. To make sure that that doesn't happen.
He stands up and he walks towards the back of the room, and he's got his tea and takes a sip and takes a minute just to kind of ponder. And everybody make an insight check with your dice.
Kinz, this is why you need to be with us. You you are our insight
I am
person.
studious right now.
Kinz
while
is-
y'all trash my berries.
Kinz is
my
like
God.
0.3
Extra water.
into her wisdom
And the
upgrade
water.
rating.
17.
17.
11.
11.
3.
3. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then I would say you're probably in a state of like trying to process all this. Like, you know, your central processing unit is just working. You're heating up right now. You know, you're just your temperature's rising.
Clock.
But yeah, generally you guys get the sense that this is a very emotional recollection for this guy. Like, this ruined his life, and he had whatever family and friends he might have had. Like, he's basically been shunned for speaking out against the Tinker, and so he's
like,
yeah.
if it was up to you, would you go back to the dry walkers instead of the robots?
This thing I ask myself all the time. It is... And he raises his chin and he says, I would have the Bali choose for themselves. And then he turns back and he's kind of just pacing the room like he's gotten what he wanted out of the situation, and he's just kind of like, now he's just processing everything you've said and just kind of listening, you know.
If the Bali knew what we just told you, do you think they would choose the Drywalkers? Would they choose to rid themselves of the Tinker?
He says, until the Bali know what is really going on. And some of them would need to see it for themselves to believe it. I don't know how you change. You've got this dragon, you've got these machines, you've got this undead. How can you blame them for wanting safety, huh? But all I see when I look at this, I see our culture, I see our people, I see what really makes us, the things my father, my grandfather, the things that make us who we are slowly go away until we are what? We are nothing. We are just some people in some tents.
Is there a leader among the Bali? I mean, I know Cattell, this is her oasis, but you said she's not actually one of the Bali.
He says, the Bali have no leader.
Okay.
How would we get some of them to be able to see this? I mean, if we were to travel out west, would any of them come with us? Or do any of them ever travel with the caravans that go? You must know that Valk is coming tomorrow. He's traveling with the caravan.
He kind of looks up when you say Valk's name, and you see like a little bit of a... There's like a fire in his eyes for a second. Like, it's hard to miss. Like, he's like... No one goes west except for machines. You cannot go west. The sandstorms, the pits, the undead, the monster, everything. The only way to go west is, well, you risk immense danger. Or the machines, they have this way. They go heavily guarded. They control everything west of the oasis. Between them and the storms, for the Bali to leave here, go west is not even, no. No Bali will ever see the ziggurat as long as these machines are here. I don't know how to solve this problem. And that is why it is something I stopped worrying about a long time ago.
I mean, if the machines weren't here, would they still not go west because of the sandstorms, or?
The Bali can deal with the storms. We've always done this. They are much worse in the west because of the ocean. But you learn. You live in the desert your whole life. You learn how to deal with these things. But the machines, the Bali are not fighters. We know how to avoid the danger, but they slowly move. Right now, no west of Oasis. We here, Cattell, protect us. The Sidewinders, the men who fight, great. The east, this is where we can go. Now the machines in the east. How long until we can go nowhere? Can't go north. You go to the south, you have the tribes, you have the Centaur, you have the Aarakocra. They are not enemy of Bali, but they're very territorial. All of these peoples displaced by these things, you know?
I think I understand. I've heard a lot of stories about, dwarves. Where, we were everywhere. Now we're like nowhere. And I think it's because they don't want to die. So we've holed up and we do the same type of thing of sort of saying like, well, okay, alive here is better than out there and dead. But I'm not so sure they would feel the same if they actually left. We met somebody else, another Bali, on our way here, far east. Saban.
Sabon.
Mm-hmm.
You meet Sabon in the east.
Yes, he introduced me to the soup. Yes, I'll never forget him.
Sabon is my cousin. I miss him very much.
Well, he's doing well. They were out the eastern edge there, a little bit north. And we asked if he wanted to come with us, but I think maybe he knew that if he came back, he wouldn't leave again.
There are still some who keep to the old ways. In such a short amount of time, we've gone from what we were. Danger, yes, always danger for Bali. But we were us, We had what it meant, what we were. In such a short time, you dangle safety and food and comfort, and you see how quickly the goals and the things people want, they disappear, And now here we are.
Not everything is lost, though. I mean, I know I've been joking, but still have the soup. This candy is really good. Definitely gonna get some before I leave, by the way, if you have some. I think we have other companions. They should probably try it. Very sticky, by the way. Very happy I have this toothpick. And I feel like, in a lot of stories that I've read or been told, it's like there's always this time where it seems like, things are lost. But I don't know. Things can't really be totally lost, It's like if they once were, they'll be here. They're still here. Vin died and he's still here. I mean, Jesus. Terrible.
He kind of stands up as if he's...
The desert is still there.
Kind of ready for you guys to go now. Kind of, you can tell from his posture that he kind of...
Candy? Can I buy some of this?
He goes back. He smiles for the one of the first times in the whole conversation, and he seems to be kind of like, compartmentalizing back to whatever, let's put all that back in a jar and we'll go over and be the candy guy again. And he goes over and he actually puts together a little bundle for you and brings it back, and he smiles at you and he says, there are still things to enjoy, yes. The Bali will go ahead, sir.
No, go for it.
He just says, as long as the Tinker is here, the Bali are doomed. But that is an unpopular opinion. That is why I'm here. That is why you do not want to be seen talking to me, huh? That is why I must send you notes. And I am here and I will remain. But now you know. Whatever it is you are, there is nothing the Tinker values more. They will not destroy you. They will not even want to damage you. They value you above all. keep that in mind.
Quick question before we go. You said in the West, you know how to deal with the sandstorms. If we do go out west, you have any sandstorm tips for us?
He says, find shelter. You can see them coming. Miles away. As tall as a mountain. You can't miss them. And when you see them come, you don't wait. You look for shelter. You get down, you get under.
And what are your thoughts on sinkholes?
Don't fall in is a bad idea.
Yeah.
And if you do
That's
fall
my
in, make
conclusion,
sure
too.
you have, camel with you.
Bingo.
All right. I'll just bow my head and say,
Thank
good
you.
evening.
He gives you a nod. This is just like a confused, kind of conflicted guy, for sure. Yeah, you head back out, and by the time you get back up to the top, it is completely dark, and we're going to cut over to Thorkum. Thorkum, what are you doing? And are you just sitting in the dark? How you and Kinz are in this yurt. How are you lighting it? Like, paint a picture for us. What are you guys doing in there?
Okay, so totally, I guess, metaing this. Usually has like some sort of fire pit in the center, right? Or am I like making that up in my head?
I mean, it could. Normally, yeah, sure. We could say, I have not previously perfectly designed this yurt in my head, so we could say that there's basically like a small fire pit in the middle, and then usually it comes up in the middle at the top, and that would be open so the smoke can escape. So we could say that you guys have let's see, we'll get a
Dim light. So Kinz is like
Need reading
Michelangeloing her eyes
Through
right
the
now.
craft.
In the morning, she's gonna be like, so bright. I am basically taking the head, apart from the inside out.
the head.
Just
And
to make
remind
sure.
us what the head is. What is it?
The head
again you're
is
working
like, so we found the more versions of Vinny's body in the dungeon we were in, and one that we had to put down, one that was already crushed, and I took both the heads. And I'm
Right.
trying to make it, if we're going to talk to this guy, I want to have something to bring to the table, but I don't want it to be useful to them.
So it's just a robot head on a stick. It's
No,
kind of what
no,
I'm
just
picturing.
like, well, no, I'm just like basically taking the guts out.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like an Iron Man helmet, basically. It's like just
Yeah.
like a okay, cool.
Well,
Like
Not-
a
not
like
taking-
a hollow.
no,
Machine
not
head?
taking everything out, just making sure it no longer can function.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, there's no way to put
makes
it back
sense.
together.
Right. Pulling out
No,
some
I'm not
key
gonna-
components. Pulling
That's a
out
little creepy,
fuses
yeah.
and like secret stuff. Yeah.
Making a Warforged mask.
Is that somehow
Super
like
gross.
like when you like wear a face? Is that the same thing, but the robot version? Is that? Yeah, that's kind of weird,
Yes,
right?
that's
Yeah.
creepy. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
No, not doing that. Okay. All right, just making sure we're on the same page here.
Oh my gosh.
And Kinz, what do you got going? You're reading your book?
Yeah, I'm reading my book, and every few seconds that I hear Thorkum doing stuff, I just kind of like trying to like get my focus because I got to do these exercises. Yeah.
So this is
What real life is like.
this is a book called The Tomb of Understanding,
Oh my god.
and it's going to bring you a sense of wisdom and understanding. So read us a passage from this book. What does this book have going on in it? What have you learned so far from this Tomb of Understanding?
Deep insight and wisdom. So I'm imagining because also Jeshi gave me the task of summarizing and giving him, the full rundown of this book. And basically,
Get your highlighter.
yeah. So I'm like marking notes and be like, yeah, so definitely don't trust people who seem to know information about your past when you've never met them. That's where I went wrong with the hags. Okay. And so just like practicing of like, okay, this is how you look at someone's eyes. If they avert their eyes, then maybe they're not telling you the truth, stuff like that. Very, very simple things that
Like
Kinz probably
practical
should know.
exercises.
But, Kinz is a little naive, but is now like trying to learn how to be a person in this world.
There's a section of the book just called Street Smarts.
Yeah.
Walking through a new city, like put
that's
your
an
wallet
easy
in your front
chapter.
hand pocket.
Yeah, easy chapter.
Excellent. That's great. As you guys are as you're doing this exercise, and Thorkum, you're kind of pulling the last of the fuses or whatever out of this thing. You guys all make it back to the yurt, unless you wanted to go somewhere else. I'm assuming you're going back.
Is it dark out?
It is dark out now.
I want to pull out the telescope on my way out.
Ah.
Ooh.
Okay.
The star glass of true seeing.
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm gonna look around as we're walking. I think it lasts for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna see if there's any spirits here. I'll look
Okay.
and see if there's a ghost moon.
So
Looking
as you
around.
look around, this gives you true sight. So you're able to see things that are invisible. You're even able to, in some cases, see into the ethereal plane if there's anything there to perceive. But one of the things true sight gives you in this world is the ability to see the spirits that have not been able to pass through the gate. You look over at Vinadil and you can actually see his body, his spiritual body, as a drow inside the body of this warforged, which is a very like strange thing to. It's almost like he's piloting it. It's kind of this weird thing where it's not exactly like that. You can see as his arms move, there's just sort of like the idea of him moving this thing. But you go outside and you peer through, and you do see the glow of what looks to be two other spirits just sort of meandering through the oasis.
Do I see those as well?
Vinadil, if you were to go outside right now and basically have Belrissa point you in that direction, you would see them as well.
Finn, there's ghost people here. You gonna talk to him?
Right as you guys are looking at this,
Did I hear that?
are you guys outside by yourselves?
We're not.
Well, are
we're
we
walking
still-
back.
we're-
Oh, that's
we're
right.
like-
Because the
we're
three of us
walking
are
back.
walking back.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're still
so-
walking back, right?
Yeah.
Protection from evil and good. Bob.
All right. Yeah. I'll look the direction that she's pointing.
Okay. Yep. So you look over, and one of them is actually walking across the surface of the water, and is just kind of. It's hard to tell, any detail. Looks to be a male spirit, but can't really tell anything. It's kind of facing away from you, kind of walking, just meandering across. And then the other one is on your left-hand side, kind of further in. Most of the market has chilled out at this point. There's still a bunch of people around, just drinking and having fun, and most of the shops are closed. But you can see that there's the spirit of. It's hard to tell if it's who it is, but there's kind of long hair and sort of what looks to be an old tattered dress or something like that, just sort of meandering through the crowd. You also see, as you're kind of looking, a familiar face coming out of the crowd and walking in your direction. It is Cattell, and she's being followed by two Sidewinders, and she's headed right for you.
I look at her through the thing.
Does it? Okay. Real quick clarification. Does it? When you use it, does it then change your actual eyes to have true sight, or do you have to look through it?
You have to look through it.
Oh, okay. Okay. So okay. So you have to look the part of the tourist. Of
Yep. Yeah.
okay.
So you're in the dark right now, staring through like a probably like 8-inch long, essentially, telescope, like spyglass.
All right.
All
I'm gonna
because we have
mark.
company.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark the 2 ghosts, but we'll focus on Cattell.
I'm gonna wave
Alright,
to the
if-
ghost.
If we're close to the yurt, then I'm gonna
Yeah, you guys
kind of
are.
point that way.
You're like
and-
20 feet from the yurt, and she's clearly headed for the yurt, and kind of.
Okay. Yeah.
You guys kind of like
Let's just
come,
meet up
come
there.
together.
Sorry, Kinz. Gonna interrupt your reading.
Oh, hi.
It's a bring it a party.
So she walks up and basically asks if she can come in for a minute to chat.
I'll tuck the head into the bag of holding.
Okay.
And then we'll say yes once we see the
Piece of
head
candy?
disappear.
Ooh, candy.
Candy? Yeah, anybody? Candy?
I'll-
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
take some, yeah.
Okay. Very nice.
Cattell walks in and she says, she kind of, a couple of tiny bit of, hellos and small talk. And she says, I have received word that Valk knows you're here. He has made a formal request for you to join our meeting. I wanted to give you ample notice, considering your reaction yesterday, or earlier today, she says.
All right.
Yeah, I love meetings.
Where's this meeting at again?
She basically says it's going to be here in the Oasis.
What? I mean,
Well, there's basically like a. Actually, you probably would have saw this as you were walking from the pool to your yurt, but there's what looks to be a large tent being erected, kind of in the center of the area, almost like you'd see like a wedding kind of venue getting set up. Like there's some people kind of setting up a new area that, and she references that and basically says that, we're setting this area up to have this meeting spot, just to accept and welcome Valk to the Oasis. She then
How
says,
does he know we're here? We just got here a few hours ago.
she smiles and then kind of looks at you and she says, that is a good question. I don't know. I expect he has spies here in the Oasis. But when I received this letter, I was upset on your behalf.
Well, we're not exactly like difficult to
Inconspicuous?
notice. Yeah.
She kind of like, gives you that kind of look. She says, she puts her hands together. She says, should you choose to attend, know that I will guarantee your safety, as I will guarantee his. The Oasis is a place of peace, neutrality. No harm will become you here. Should you choose not to attend, I would ask respectively that you leave tonight. For you to be here in the Oasis, but refuse this invitation, would reflect poorly on the host. And,
Can I ask a question?
of course,
Did he define who we are? Like, did he name each of us, or did he name one person?
he did not. I do not know if he knows how many of you there are, or who you are. He requested only that the newcomers were to be invited to the meeting. It is possible he does not know, but I am not sure.
Would it be disrespectful if we had some of us attend and some not?
Let me stop you right there. I'm going to leave this place now. You all can discuss, and what I don't hear, I don't know about, yeah?
Is there gonna be food? It's important information whether or not I go.
Before you go, I know you don't want to hear, but is there anything you need done? Maybe to take us away tonight.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I'm asking if there's something she needs done that she would have requested us before she got the letter. Like, give us an excuse to leave.
Oh, I
Is
see.
there something you need done to protect her and us?
Yeah, she seems to think on it for a second. Let's see. She says something that she needs done. She says, "What?"
Everyone saw Jessie. Dragon.
She says, "Valk is coming here to discuss the dragon and what we're going to do about that. The thing that I would need done is the same as what he would need done." She seems to think, and she just seems to not have a good answer to your question, but appreciates you asking it.
Last question before you go. Does Valk always come on these trips? Or is this an unusual thing?
She says Valk always comes. Yeah, but Valk is sort of Valk is like the deal maker. He's the head of operations. He's the guy.
So like once
The
a
mouth
week.
of Sauron.
He's basically here once a week or so.
Yeah, every couple of weeks. They
weeks.
stop by and
Okay.
usually we'll say she explains this briefly, but usually there's some agenda, just kind of some things he wants to discuss. But part of the arrival is just an exchange of goods, to take back with them any materials that were required, and then often he'll bring, refilling the supplies for the oasis and things like that. So,
How did she already tell us how long of a trip it is from here to the ziggurat? Like, I'm trying to get an idea for this Valk guy. Like, does he just spend his life on the road, just traveling back and forth, or is it like a 2-day trip and then he stays a few days there and back or whatever?
What's your commute like?
Yeah, just like
Good way to start the meeting.
is this guy just like constantly on the road back and forth between these two places in the desert?
She explains that. She kind of says, like, you'll see it when it gets here, but he has a way to travel very quickly across the desert. Normally, it would take about a week to walk.
They're riding worms. No, I'm just like, if we do end up leaving, I respectfully suggest you leave. You use that excuse. We didn't mean to bring trouble here. I meant to be trouble to the Tinker. Let me be clear, but not to you.
You've brought me no trouble. I appreciate this. You've brought me no trouble. Listen, if Valk were trouble, I would not allow him to come here every week. You all? You've brought no trouble here yet? And as long as it remains this way, then we're good.
That's somehow not comforting.
And with that, she backs up and says, "Perhaps I see you tomorrow. Perhaps I do not. Either way." Just bows.
Thank
Like
you,
a little
Gazelle.
half bow, kind of keeping her eyes forward, and steps backwards out of the yurt, and her 2 guards, sidewinders, follow her. She's gone. You're by yourself in the yurt. It is dark.
So what did you find out?
We'll recount the story to Thorkum, the key points being like
There are 3.
The moat
there are 3.
and the zombie holes.
I'm even less inclined to try to force our way in there.
So we're not
We-
doing Trojan Vinny either.
No.
Why not?
You could make a
It
new
seems
one
so
with the head you got.
With him just inside. This totally work, guys.
Wait, so did that guy know the Tinker?
This show is called Bad Plans. I mean,
Yeah, nobody's seen the Tinker. He
Nobody
hasn't seen
knows
the
what he
Tinker.
looks like.
Nobody, not here. Well, apparently he comes from this city on the south that we heard about from the Turtles.
Yeah, they
That-
came
that-
by water.
Yeah, that appears. He said that the Tinker and a bunch of men came from the south on boats.
Also,
Huh.
apparently Vin's body was stolen like years ago.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago.
Oh.
So this
So
makes
it's
me
an old rusty body?
Well,
That
I mean, it's
explains a lot, okay? Why you can't move. Yeah.
So
That explains
what was
a lot.
Reckoning waiting for? Maybe there was. Oh my gosh! Maybe it's used.
like he's been putting other.
There was another guy in there who biffed.
Feels very clean. Feels very clean. There have not been any other souls inside of here.
Look, I'm
would
not
you
judging.
even
I
know?
put on armor that other people have used. It can be
Oh,
clean.
man.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Air
fine.
freshener.
One soul passes through, another comes in.
So did
What's
you
a couple
guys
souls?
keep the seeing glass? The telescope?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got it right
Marissa
here.
was
I was looking
using
at
it
it.
earlier.
There's actually ghosts outside.
That's cool.
2 of them.
But you realize that's probably the way that we can prove what the Tinker's doing.
Oh, if his other machines have like broken ghost bodies in them.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Good job, Jesse.
Thank you.
I don't remember you saying that.
Pat
Joshi,
up
but
at
I'll
Jesse
send
on
it
the
to you.
It was, I had a
Yeah.
lot of good ideas that night. This was one of them.
This is one of them.
So,
Yeah, let's not
oh,
be
wait,
here.
but real quick,
Wait, you didn't talk
We-
to the ghost though?
I don't.
Seems like
Well, the Cattell was like. As
Cattell
soon as we
showed up
saw
right at
them,
that
and there
time.
was Cattell, and like we had to go talk to her.
I might go try
It
to.
would be hard to explain, like, oh,
talk
we
to
looked
them
through
later.
this thing to see ghosts, and there's a couple that live in your oasis, but don't
well,
worry.
that's Vin's whole story every time. He tries to explain himself and nobody really gets it. I think the ghost would
I don't
understand.
think people believe him.
Did,
I think the
Little
ghost would
girl.
understand.
Jay, did I see any hint of spirit forms inside of those previous like robots that we fought though?
Residue.
No, so I don't know if it's gonna show.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Vin told this guy that he used to look like Belrissa. And that
Oh,
confused
you
him a
did.
lot.
I feel like, okay, maybe your memory is a little rusty as well.
He used
I'm
to look
just
more like
saying-
me than you.
He is
Yeah,
going insane.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
That's
Okay.
a fair point. But
General-
I
Just
don't
gaslight
think it
him.
came
Like you've always been. What are you even talking
across- I
about?
don't think it came across that way.
I'm gonna sigh heavily.
I mean,
Maybe
so-
our best and safest bet is to go see a dragon.
What if the dragon is the Tinker? No one has seen the Tinker. What if it's not a person
What
and
is-
it's actually the dragon?
Did he? And I like the story they told. Would he fit into coach?
No,
Dragons?
but I can transform into giant things. What if it's it can be another druid, fake druid.
It's true. It's all the way down.
This is Nick part 2.
I am so confused.
Well,
Jesse, you
What's
want to go
that
see this
book
dragon?
about? Conspiracy theory.
Oh, don't trust people if they look away, Jesse. Don't trust them.
That's
That's
the
the
true sign
wisdom.
of wisdom when you're super into conspiracy theories.
When somebody, you're telling me when
tinfoil
somebody
hat
looks
on now.
away,
It's just,
Yeah,
I should
like if
stop
I'm looking at
trusting.
you and I'm just like, oh, Jesse's really
I
cool,
believe
and
you,
then I look
believe
away,
you.
like
I
then
no
you
longer
shouldn't
believe
believe
you.
me.
Okay,
You
I get
shouldn't.
it.
I heard what you said about my water. Oh my lord.
I mean, maybe if we like help them take out the dragon, the Bali will be more inclined to help us get rid of the Tinker. Like,
So you want to meet with Valk?
yes.
So how about
Or-
this, Belrissa? You could. That thing gets like 3 uses a day, right?
Yeah.
So
But
it'll
you also-
recharge overnight.
You have to attune to it. So
To
just-
use it?
Yes. So we'd have to like let somebody do that.
But we don't even know if it's gonna work.
Yeah.
We don't even know if you're gonna see anything.
Well, I mean, we can try it tomorrow when the.
But you
if-
could try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can definitely see you. We got that proof at least.
Well, yeah, but then they would know I'm potentially dangerous, but they wouldn't think the Tinker's dangerous.
Didn't you just tell some random guy?
Yeah,
the
but nobody
Oasis
listens to this
basement?
guy. nobody listens to this guy anyway. He's like
Oasis
crazy.
basement.
he's like the
Oh,
he's like the
Willy Wonka?
local crazy man. So
Okay.
I mean, he
So-
basically convinced me that we cannot go there on our own and just attack this place. Like,
We need to be looking through that thing when we encounter the robots.
yeah.
But
So what do we
also-
think about this meeting? I mean, if we're
No.
gonna go kill a dragon, why not let the Tinker help?
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait. So when we were talking, I forgot the guy's name. Who was the guy in the cave? What was
Gabor?
Gabor.
Gabor. He was basically talking about how, and I think we already know this, but the Tinker basically makes promises of keeping the dry walkers away, and then like is slowly encroaching. So he was talking about how the Bali used to like go west, and now they can't, and then they were like, okay, well at least we can go east, but now there are robots east too, as we know.
A little
So my
paranoid
feeling-
too, to like knee-jerk exile Gabor after something disappears of his.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I think like part of me wants to slay the dragon, but part of me thinks that the dragon is an important part of like the ecosystem here right now. Like I mean, if we help them destroy the dragon, like that just means the robots are gonna have the north. It's not gonna help anyone we like.
So what our goal here is to form our Raikonen's idea to gather people to help us against the Tinker.
Yeah, there are no fighters here besides for Cattell and the guards.
Yeah, but
The
if we-
centaurs are fighters.
Back
Yeah.
to the centaurs.
And they mentioned he mentioned Aarakocra down there as well.
oh.
They're bird people,
The
Kinz.
south.
Oh, yes. Wait, so
You know-
okay, our mission to find the disgruntled and displeased residents, that's still on?
We found one. That guy did not like when he heard
Yeah.
that Valk was coming. He was
Is he
not happy.
he's not a fighter though.
Will we
No.
take him with us?
And he knows
100%.
none. Well, he could be our
would leave.
guide.
He would be
He could
happy
be our
to
guide.
leave.
That would be interesting.
Ooh, yeah, he
wants
could be a
to
new
leave.
friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
But he's not
you
gonna be
told
a
me that he
fighter.
made these sweet things.
Yeah.
Hmm.
From bugs. Like their juice. You
No
know, like
way.
honey. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can
Basically,
I
like
learn
honey.
from
Dude,
him?
juice.
Yeah.
Never thought of
What's
that. That's gross.
It's bee juice. Not their
It's like their vomit.
It's not like, yeah, it's
Ew.
like a bee. Bee
That
honey.
sounds less appealing.
It's fantastic. Stuff from animals is awesome.
Yeah.
Plants, animals, everything. Good. Glassweed, beetle juice. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Gabor was pretty old. I'm not sure if he'd be up for the trip. I mean, we could ask him, but
Oh, he would leave. Yeah,
Also, he was
would go.
cousins with Saban.
that's true.
Oh,
Possibly.
cool.
Yeah. Small world.
But he would probably only leave if we were going back east. He would not take us. He would not go to the dragon, and he would not go west.
But south.
Well, it sounded like he wanted to see the ziggurat again, but he was afraid.
Yeah, he's.
But he could lead us there.
And then what, we just leave him in the middle of the desert? Or
No, we
We
can
can take him to
pop him on
Saban.
Leonard and send him out.
Pop him on.
Take him to
Leonard.
his cousin.
okay.
So, if we attend this meeting, we get into a situation where we're working with somebody we know who's going to betray us. Either for what I know or for what Vinny is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time.
We
Look, he's
can't
right
get. I
there.
mean, but I guess I see a difference between attending the meeting and then choosing to go with them. I don't want to leave this oasis with Valk. I don't feel
Oh,
safe
no.
there. But inside the oasis, I would love for him to attack us or make some kind of hostile move and turn Cattell against him.
So this is like murder robot time? Do we want to bring that
No,
down
I'm
on
just
people?
saying we are going to be the nice people this time, and he will be the bad guy.
Oh,
Or
that's
we
nice.
want them. We want
Wait,
them
you want
to have
us
the
to then
choice,
be the
though.
heroes?
We don't want to use them as a human shield. That's
Oh my goodness.
super not good.
Or he's, well, I need to turn Cattell against the Tinker. Like that's something that needs to happen eventually.
I think she's already almost there, man. I think it's just gonna need a push. So, let me remind you, how did he react when you were stolen?
He got very angry.
He flipped out, acted irrationally. If he knows you're here and you leave again, and you slip through his fingers again, how is he going to react?
Yeah.
Irrationally.
Irrational. There you go. That's good, Jessie.
I mean, I think it's bad that Valk already knew we were here. I don't know.
I mean, there was
Yes,
some
it's
pretty
inevitable.
creepy
You're being
guys.
tracked.
You saw that shady dude I was talking to who was taking all the robot parts. It's probably
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Larissa got bitten by a robot spider, so we've been being tracked for a long time.
I forgot about
Also,
the robot spider.
The robot, how did that robot even find us? Probably Raikkonen is the tinker.
No,
Oh my gosh, this-
we.
Yeah, that
Um,
it was. That's when I got punched the first time. That was not the best.
Eagle
thing.
punch.
Yeah.
Eagle punch.
Eagle punch.
I don't know. There's part of me, Thorkum, that wants to know our enemy better, and the chance to meet
Then-
this Valk, to see what is this thing they have that travels across the desert so quickly.
yeah.
Like I have questions. I don't
I
want to
could
go
drop
with
the
him.
zone of truth on him.
That's
Like, hey Valk,
I can guarantee
Cattell
you
said I could do this.
we're gonna meet him. But the fact that he knows we're here, and the fact that
so you think he could overpower Cattell and
Yeah.
take me somehow?
easily
Hmm.
she didn't hold back the zombie hordes. He has an army. It's not that Valk is strong. It's
Yeah.
that
Well, I mean, eventually, but I'm saying like tomorrow. You think he
Yeah,
could
I
take
think
us
we
tomorrow?
should meet him.
I
This
don't
is
think
the
it's a good
neutral
idea.
place. If
There's
if
no
it all
safer place than
explodes,
here.
it explodes, and we'll just deal with it then. I think it's fine.
We could do the invisible
foolish.
plan. I could come to the meeting invisible
For an hour?
Ooh.
for an hour. It probably won't last that long. Unless it's a long dinner or something. I don't know.
You think that's an option?
If so, I'll stealth like
Wait.
outside of the tent or something.
You and Belrissa can talk to each other, can't you? So like, you don't even need to talk. You could like
I
help with Belrissa
definitely
talking.
don't think having you separate from us is a good idea.
No, I don't like that either.
This-
That's how you get taken.
No, yeah, you should
This-
stay with us for sure.
I think
could
this
be-
meeting is extremely dangerous for both me and Ben.
Yeah.
I know you're curious, but why give it more information?
So I mean, that's the play, right? Is I think we can learn more than he's gonna learn, but maybe not.
He knows we're
I mean,
here.
here's the thing, though. He knows. I mean, right now we know nothing about him, so
Yeah.
he already knows more about
That's
us than
why
we
we're
know
making
about
all
him.
the conspiracies about the
Wow.
Tinker
know-
because we're
One
We
thing
know
we
plenty
know,
about
a while.
one thing we know is that he was super interested in you before you were a ghost robot. He was interested in you when you were just a robot.
Which it wasn't me.
Now
that-
you're a
not
ghost
it.
robot.
he was interested in this thing before I was in it.
Yeah, but like
Oh,
maybe now
man.
that you're in it, he's like even more interested because it's like,
Wait,
hey, that's what I want to do. That's what Raikkonen said.
don't you think it's mean of Raikkonen to then put you in this thing knowing that it's so valuable to the Tinker?
Yeah, we'll get to that. I
Oh my
thought that too.
gosh.
That he sends you into the desert knowing he's looking for it. Rakkenen's got some questions he needs to answer.
I'm telling you, use.
But
body.
he's far from here.
Yep.
We're here in the situation now.
Yep. I don't know. We barely survived the desert the first time. You want us to
Did
stealth
we-
out right now?
We did fine.
Did we have a way to?
Jesse
to
got
talk
stinky.
Did we have a way to talk to Raikkonen? We didn't leave our far speech. No, we left him back with the city, didn't we?
Yeah.
Was the
Talk
mayor.
to Sparrow. What do you think we
Let-
should do? Can you sing us a
let's-
song?
Less,
A
less
pop-up song?
helpful. Like less helpful, maybe.
Really terrible bard.
Hey, Sparrow, put Jeep on.
Yeah, I'm trying-
Put Jeep on real quick.
You left your sending stones with Remus.
God.
with
Remus,
Remus.
yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
okay.
Not to
one
be
of them.
confused with Rufus.
Not to be confused with Rufus. Correct, yes.
Remus.
I mean, side note, it would be interesting to hear what's going on back at the city, but that's not going to provide us any help
Well,
here.
Let me toss this out there as well. What if we have a problem either way, right? So like right
Yeah.
now, if we were to leave right now, there's no guarantee that they're not waiting for us, and it might actually be worse.
Because we're off of the safe zone, the neutral zone.
Yeah, so but like at least if we met with them, we would know a little bit more. Maybe we could like.
Windwalk.
But where would we even go?
But we could do
take
that. We could do that
Gabor
after too, and we
to
could get all
Saban
this information
real
and then be like, bye.
How long does that spell take to cast,
A
Thorkum?
minute.
I like Jesse's idea. That's a good out for us. If things go bad, you windwalk us and we jet.
Yeah, that's not. It's not an escape thing. It's a travel thing.
But maybe we'll be like, oh yeah, no, we'll meet you out there.
We'll
to
be
go
right
kill
back.
The
Just give us
dragon.
like 1 minute. Hold on a second.
It's like 1 minute.
I gotta go clean up. I left my glass weed in the yurt.
We need exactly
Go bang, go bang.
1 minute.
Later.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And especially I don't think Vin or I need to be there if you guys meet with him. I am definitely not gonna be there. Also, I don't know what I'm gonna do to the guy.
Yeah, but like, let's say you're
Wait.
separated and then they like find
They
you
swarm on
guys.
you. Yeah, that seems worse.
Then like, I'm not there to save everyone.
Yeah,
yes,
like,
Jesse, you're not there to
With a
save
quick
everyone.
grapple.
You two get grappled.
I will get grappled on behalf of the party. Yes.
You know there's a
Oh.
monster in the pool, Jesse. It's going to get you.
Monster in the pool?
Shh. Every time we get near water, he gets grappled. It's funny.
Something I
Oh
want to
yeah,
point out
it's
too.
true.
Windwalk is a 6th level spell, which means activating the spell scroll is an ability check roll that
Yep.
can be failed because none of you can cast at 6th level.
It's not an escape tool. It's a travel tool, and yeah, it's not guaranteed. So
I mean, you should totally still try to escape with it. Just see what happens. I mean, maybe it'll.
we can still be hit. We
I'm
can
just
still take
saying.
damage.
I just didn't want you to.
It's
you know,
concentration.
just yeah. Just so you guys
Not good.
remember that little detail.
They hit the fart cloud. That's me. Might be bad.
where do you want to go, Thorkum?
Against all better judgment, north.
Oh.
To fight the dragon?
The dragon?
Yeah, because
I guess because they won't be going there.
But they are going there because
We
that's
take
what they're
care
going to
of
be
the-
talking about.
so here's
That is true.
Here's what I'm thinking. First, we want him to act irrationally. Vin being gone will cause something. This man is motivated by Vin. That is what we know about him. He's also motivated by me. We don't know much about that, other than he wants to go to my home city. The dragon. If we take care of the dragon and pressure is relieved off the Tinker, he might show his true colors to these people. Somehow that has to happen. I'm not willing to bring a fight here, but if they choose to fight, that's another.
I mean, she seems pretty confident that he's not gonna fight us.
She is barely hanging on to a very small part of this desert and slowly losing.
I mean,
Don't you think they want us to go to the dragon, and that's why they're coming to talk about the dragon? I just feel like it's all trapped all around, so we might as well just go meet with them.
No.
Hide Vinny.
All right, let's take and like who wants to meet with Valk?
Are we voting? Really?
Yeah, I mean I'm not saying we're gonna
We're not
go
gonna
with a
come to a
vote,
decision. Gotta
but we
come
should
to
at least
decorum.
know
Okay.
where everybody stands.
I will vote for Valk.
You want to see Valk, Belrissa? You want to see Valk, Jessie? Regardless of food, this isn't a food choice. Like
Does Valk
we'll,
have
we'll
soup?
still
Yeah,
get
just-
food.
Jessie wants to meet Valk. Yes.
Okay.
Then we already have a majority, but I'm not
Thorkum,
going.
how do we? I mean, I kind of agree with you that the three of us shouldn't be there. You, me, and 14. How do we do that? Can we spend the night processing how we can be in a different room but close by? I mean, I'm sure.
Room? This is
I mean,
a
we're
place
not-
of tents.
Yeah, it's a tent. Like, can we
Go
just be
hang
in a
out with
tent?
Gabor.
Yeah, go in the caves.
No, that's also bad
No.
idea. One way out. That makes
Like
me
right,
nervous.
we could just be in a tent right next door.
No, I think this is such a bad idea.
And
But
you could both be invisible.
for an hour. How long is this meeting gonna take?
We could just make sure it's under an
Don't
hour.
tell them our entire story. Keep it short.
I got a hard out, you guys, at like.
Yeah.
we gotta get this meeting rolling.
Oh,
here.
it's soup o'clock. Sorry.
No, we're not gonna recap. No, nope. Don't need action. We're good.
Let's see.
I'm just gonna be here then. There's no safe place here. As much as Cattell wants to make you believe that.
All right. No, I've got to see this guy. I've got to hear or see who they are. So be ready with our escape plan, Thorkum.
There is no escape.
I mean, Belrissa will. It's a 1 minute.
Be ready
cast.
with our escape.
There is no escape.
Belrissa will
This
message
is not a
you.
thing.
Belrissa will message you. You can start reading the spell scroll, and when we get in,
And then fail.
boom.
Oh,
And if
no.
it fails, then we go to plan 2. We always have a backup plan.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
find us a captain for
We
10
can't fight.
gold. He will get us where
You'll
we need
find
to
us
go.
a captain for 10 gold. Oh
If
my
they-
god.
If they come tomorrow and we're here, it is surrounded. There's nowhere to go. If you're going in on this,
I don't think they're going come here with
there's
an
no
army.
safety.
It's just a caravan.
They're not. Yeah, they're not coming here with like 100 robots.
Are you sure?
Mostly
I'm
sure.
fairly certain.
Are
But
you
I,
sure?
I don't. I mean, let's send Ziggy. Ziggy, go out and scout to find
Into the desert to die.
into the
Oh,
desert
actually, yeah. Let's
to find.
Oh no.
Hey, it's a
Let's
lot
have Ziggy.
cooler at night. He might be okay.
Yeah, see if he can find their. See if Ziggy can find
Hey.
their caravan.
I am a lot cooler at night. I'm just saying.
Hey.
Hey, me in the night. What? Yeah. I don't know.
No, I mean, if Ziggy can find their caravan, I mean, yes. If there was an army of robots marching this way, that would change my opinion greatly. But if it's like, 15 robots and a caravan guy, then I don't feel as
Ziggy doesn't fly that fast.
we got a whole night. They're not. Don't we like? They're not getting here until tomorrow.
I mean,
Maybe? I
she
don't-
did say that they had a fast way of traveling.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know what
Kinz?
that is.
You want to eagle for an hour? See what you can see. I know
I
you're
really
reading
want to
your book.
read this book, but
Nope.
I will eagle for an hour, and then if I'm
Ziggy
grumpy
go
in the
like
morning because I spent all night reading this book, then I'm gonna blame you.
I'll be up
Feed
with you,
you some
kids.
trash berries. so
I'll be
here
up
you
with you.
go. Okay. Oh gosh, I forgot. Okay, well, as long as you don't make noises,
Yeah.
glare at Thorkum.
All right. Are we gonna do a pause, or are we gonna just play all the way through? So I'm asking about, do we want to take a break, or do we need like a?
What are you guys deciding to do though?
I have to pee.
No, I think we're gonna.
Intermission.
What's
I think
your
we're gonna
plan
meet
when
with
we
this
get
guy.
back from the break? You're gonna go ahead and meet with him.
We want. Well,
least
Kids
some
is
of
gonna
us
scout,
I'm gonna scout for an hour.
like
and then
tonight.
I'm gonna come invisible. Yeah, tonight we're
Okay.
gonna go try to find his caravan, and then we're gonna go to the meeting tomorrow. But I'm gonna go invisible to the meeting,
Okay. Got
and
it.
we're gonna have Cattell not tell them anymore about our party, like Thorkum said. So we'll just show up with the 3 of those guys. They are the party.
So wait. Oh, you're going to be
work.
invisible, you said? Okay.
And pass without a trace, right? Invisible, pass without a
yeah.
trace. There we
Yeah.
go. So I won't be leaving
Plans.
footprints.
No footprints.
All right.
It's a perfect plan. It can't go wrong.
So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna take a few minutes break, and when we get back, we're gonna meet Valk. All right, we're back. I think. Make sure all the buttons are pressed, dials are turned, levers pulled, etc. How are
Yup.
we doing? Okay.
Sweet.
Jerky eating.
Let's see. Okay. Cool, we're back. Welcome, Raiders. Thank you guys. Awesome of you to stop by. Perfect timing as we immediately dip away for a quick break, but super appreciate you guys stopping by. We are picking up here as it's evening. You guys have finally come up with a master plan. Let's see if it's
Master bad plan.
Master bad plan.
Masterful plan.
Is it a plan or is it just
yes.
a meeting?
So it's the middle of the night, but before you guys rest, what's the plan? What are you gonna do?
Kinz, do eagles have dark vision?
Eagles. Kinz has dark vision.
Okay.
No, eagles have to be able to see at night. Come on.
Because Ziggy
They're
can ride on
eagles.
your back and look.
Better check.
I mean, there's nothing
Thorkum's like,
specifically that says something, but Ziggy, you are welcome to ride on my back as long as you don't fall off, because I won't be able to catch you.
Hey, all right, listen, okay, so let me just get this straight. You want me, the invisible demon cat, to ride on the back of the giant
I mean,
eagle who
you can
cannot see in the
fly-
dark, and you're gonna
Look.
fly through the sky looking for. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
'cause you're slow.
I'm in. I don't know why I bother.
You can flap
I'm in,
your
I'm in.
wings yourself.
Let's
I
do
know
this.
that you
Let's
can.
just get this over with. All right, you know.
Kinz,
Okay, come on.
Remember,
You
there's
got-
a giant butte over there. Don't slam into it.
I'll just have to
Don't
sort of
slam
maybe I
into
can
it.
you know.
She
Okay.
can see.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's not like she's blind at night. Like
I love the idea of eagles
Kinz will be
just becoming-
guided by the light of the two moons and all that. You know, she's very wise now and everything.
Man, too
All
bad
right,
there
let's
aren't
just
3
do this.
moons.
Let's get this over with.
Yeah, no
All right.
dark vision. Good luck.
everyone in chat, can eagles see
I know,
at night?
I googled it. I can't Google it that fast.
We
Tell
got the
me.
trash druid demon cat combo coming down. Let's make this
all you
happen,
need.
Kinz. All right.
All you need. All right. I will get out of the yurt before I don't know, get stuck in the yurt by transforming. And
That would be awesome.
turn into a giant eagle.
All right. So you turn into a giant eagle, and a few moments later, you feel like this, like horrible scratching as Ziggy like kind of jumps up and like claws his way kind of like
my gosh.
up onto your back. He's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Just hold on a
Ow.
second." And he starts like kind of kneading the feathers. He's trying to get
Ziggy, this was
the
not
right
the agreement.
Hey, just let me sort my situation here. Okay. And he kind of like nuzzles in. He's like, okay.
Next time we're tying a rope around
mush.
you and you can go helicopter style. Mush. Kinz is like
mushy,
with
mushy.
resent,
Just-
with resent in her mind, thinking about all the times Jessie.
Can you even understand what I'm saying? Can
has
this
wanted
eagle
to threaten
understand
Ziggy.
me?
Yes. She can.
Okay, I launch as fast as I can into the sky to hopefully give him some, like I don't know, vertigo
You just
or
feel the
something.
claws like just like dig in as you fly. Okay, you get up into the air and there's decent moonlight. You're not like blind, but
Okay.
but you as you get higher, you don't have a fantastic view because it is dark. Belrissa, make a perception check on Ziggy's behalf.
Okay.
As we'll just say sort of a make it with advantage because you guys are sort of flying around, and remind me what it is you're looking for exactly.
Caravan.
Yeah, for any what does it look like? Movement of a group of something, traveler people,
Okay.
potentially moving fast.
Ziggy rolled a nat 20 on his perception check.
Not 20.
Holy!
Okay. All right. So you guys are flying around for maybe 30 minutes, and you fly west, and a couple things that you do note. Way off in the distance, there's definitely a storm. It's hard to tell how far away it is, but you can see basically the vision just ends, and it takes you guys a few moments to figure out what you're looking at, but there's definitely a sandstorm way off, like huge distance out there in the desert. You keep flying though because it's pretty far off and you're moving fast, and eventually you hear hey, why don't you take us down a little bit little bit lower. Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. You see what I'm seeing? Huh? Oh, you can't talk back to me.
I just realized I can't talk
I
back
could
to
say the
Ziggy.
most horrible
if you were
things
a giant
to
eagle,
you,
I could talk back to you.
and there's nothing you could do about it. You know, like I could talk about your trash berries and. Oh no, but I won't.
Man.
Don't worry. Look down. You see that? So you look down, and you have to get a little lower to get advantage. But there is a black, sort of carriage-looking thing. You can tell mostly from the dust that's coming up. That's your first vantage. And in front of this carriage, there is what looks to be a giant metallic wheel that is just spinning rapidly with these giant paddles on it. And it is basically just cruising through the sand, ultra fast, like almost as fast as you could fly, Kinz. And it's just kicking up crazy dust, and it's basically this huge mechanical wheel sort of pulling this thing behind it. You don't see an army of machines. You don't see really anything else other than this one vehicle traveling rapidly across the sand.
Okay. Is the vehicle the same size as it, or so it's just one giant metal wheel dragging something?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll like fly back up after seeing that. I'm waiting to see
yeah.
if Ziggy's gonna say something to me.
this thing is way far out. You know, you're seeing it from a distance, but you can see
I'm far away. Okay.
Yeah, you've flown quite far, and this thing is even way further out. But you're able to kind of see it, and Ziggy has apparently masterful night vision eyesight from flying at full speed at the top of an eagle in the sky in the dark. But hey,
is Ziggy live talking to
he
Belrissa
is a demon
right now?
cat, so who are we to judge? Is he? How far you can, as long as he's on the same plane, you can see through him, right, Belrissa?
Yeah, I can see through him and
great.
talk to him.
So
wherever.
he's relaying, and you guys you're seeing all the same stuff. So there is definitely a caravan or equivalent on its way.
But one, and I'm going to ask Ziggy to compare it to the cart that we saw that Raikkonen drove, or Jeep, one of their wagons. How does it compare to those wagons?
Doesn't at all. This one's a lot more, at least in his description, it seems like it's made out of steel or some. Mortimer's wagon was like basically a wooden kind of traditional wagon that had just been outfitted, specifically for him. This is more of a vehicle as opposed to.
And how big? Is it bigger than those?
About,
or is it
about
the
normal
same
size, actually. Yeah, it's not that big, and there looks to be basically a back, like a second part of it that's being. It's like two of them kind of put together. If that makes sense.
Okay. But not like 10.
Nope.
So
it's not that
like
big
a
at all.
train.
Yeah, and there's
not
not
a train of robot.
Yeah, no, for sure. It seems to
Invaders.
be
Okay.
on some-
This it's like a ridiculous, like, because I'm flying, it's coming at me, like, physics question, but like, does it seem like it's faster than me? Or like, I kind of want to get a sense of how fast it's moving.
Do some quick trig in your head.
Yeah, make a trigonometry check while flying in the dark. It's I would say make an intelligence check to see if you.
Eagle intelligence.
No, this would be yours. This would be Kinz's
Oh, okay.
intelligence.
Oh, just kidding. Right,
Yep.
right. I was gonna say eagles are not bad. Just a +1. Okay, that's a 10.
A 10. Yeah, you have no idea. It's really
Okay.
far away. The dust is obscuring things. Ziggy's digging into your back right now. He keeps taunting you. He keeps he keeps just he's being his typical self here. And
I say to Ziggy, you stop that or you're not going to get any more eagle rights.
no response. He eases up a little bit. Seems to. Yeah, all right, so you make it back, and you're able to relay this information. You guys are we sleeping? Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Kinz gets back, she finds me asleep with the book on my face on page 1.
I feel so. Oh my gosh, Jessie stole this. So I'm gonna.
Page 1.
I'm going to not gently grab the book so that it whacks Jessie in the face.
Right.
as I
notice.
take back what is mine.
I snore and roll over.
Okay.
I'm gonna read the book through
Yeah.
the night,
I'm all night.
so I'm not sleeping. Yeah, I know what that means, but I'm just gonna read it through the night.
Okay.
Okay. Kinz,
So
you
don't need me, right?
another part of our great plan. We don't need you to
I
make.
don't think I told
ability
anyone I
checks.
was doing that, but
I mean,
no.
I won't tell if you don't. I'll be here watching you all night long. So it's good.
Oh my god.
Never will that
His-
stop
Just
creepy.
creepily
his eyes
watching.
just.
All I know is if Vin ever comes across one of these, he'll be fine. It'll be
right.
easy for him to
No,
finish it.
no problem at all. I'll read my book. All good. I mean, I'm reading Raikkonen's books. That's what I do every night too. So it's not like I'm just staring at you. Like I'm reading too. So I read, you read. You know, it's all good.
Book club.
One eye
Without
is looking
talking.
at you, and the other eye is
right.
reading.
Okay, Kinz, to stay up all night and not rest, particularly after the day leading up to this with the sinkhole, with the whole nonsense, you currently have 1 point of exhaustion.
Okay.
So, everybody
Is
else.
it
Yes, go ahead.
10 hours? How many hours? Because I was reading a little bit when they were in the cave.
Oh, let's see. I would
8,
say
10?
I would say you would have probably gained 10 full hours across, that whole evening and kind of leading up to it. Yeah, because you didn't go in the cave with them. Okay.
Nice.
You guys, everyone else
sleeping.
rested?
Yes.
Wake up in the morning, got your hit points back, got your spells back, etc. Everybody's feeling pretty good, and you end up sleeping in a little bit. You kind of all stayed up a little late with the whole eagle thing, so you guys sleep in a little bit. And as you wake up, you can hear that there's something going on outside for sure. You can hear that the whole, the crowd is definitely distracted by something going on. You can hear people talking, kind of some sort of thing. What do you guys want to do?
Are you staying in the? Do we know what time this meeting is? Did Cattell give us any
yeah.
idea of the time?
Yes. No.
She just said today, sometime today.
All right.
Somehow I thought it was a night meeting, but maybe not.
I
I'm
mean,
not
he was
leaving.
getting
I'm
here
not
this-
leaving the tent until I don't want to be seen. So I guess I'll hang out with
I'll
Thorkum
go
and
get some
14.
food.
Yeah, you guys go get some food. Find out when this meeting
Yeah,
is.
bring it back.
Yeah, Belrosa, should we go ask Cattell?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go find out when the meeting is.
Can you message her? See if you can message her.
I kind of have to know where she is a little
Okay.
bit. I mean, I could just
Okay.
start messaging random directions. Hope I get
Yeah.
it.
No.
People just start getting messages.
So as you leave, as you leave your your yurt, you can see that one tent. It's basically a makeshift yurt has been set up to sort of house this meeting, and you can see that they worked all night to finish constructing this thing, and it's quite a bit bigger than the one you're staying in, probably twice the size. You can see that outside there are guards posted. There's furniture inside. Like this thing has been done up. A lot of pomp and circumstance going on here, and sure enough, as you walk kind of past it and towards the market, you make it over to where the the soup kitchen style kind of thing is, and Jeshi, you're able to grab a bowl. Anyone else is able to grab a bowl of the stew, the pokey, and you look over, and the crowd suddenly starts to part. A black coach creeps slowly through the crowd. People scuttle out of the way, snatching up children and belongings, leveling fearful gazes at the honor guard of piecemeal metal warriors that march in lockstep with the dark wagon. A huge metal wheel hitched to the cabin rolls with the help of spider-like arms that claw in the sand and drag the vehicle forward, and eventually to a stop in front of the long tent Cattell's people erected for the occasion. A moment later, a figure emerges. Kicking out a stepladder that unfolds with dramatic effect, the goblin surveys the scene before him with a shrewd gaze before slicking back his wiry black hair over his head, plastering a huge toothy smile on his face. Steps out, surveying. This goblin, he's got kind of olive green skin. He's got a huge scar kind of on the side of his eye, and you can see there's a tattoo up on the side of his face. He's got slicked back hair. He's got like a long, what looks to be like a leather type material trench coat. And he's kind of just standing there triumphantly just surveying, looking across. And the three of you are observing this from the market area. You can see that the crowd is nervous at the whole, the vehicle and the honor guard machines that have emerged from it. But they're also seemingly like edging closer. Like everybody's excited about something. A few moments go by, and Cattell, the tiefling who runs the oasis, she walks up out of the crowd, followed by a handful of her guards, her sidewinders. And she walks up and she says, "Valk, I trust you had a safe journey." And she does her traditional kind of half bow to him. And he says, "Cattell, I trust you've been well. I trust our supplies have kept you in the valley warm and fed. It seems we've much to discuss. Shall we begin?" And he kind of looks over and he steps down and, I almost forgot. Boys! And he kind of and one of the machines walks over and pulls open the back of the cabin that's on kind of the second compartment that's attached to this vehicle. And basically inside, you can see it is just filled with food and clothing and like tools and just everything all the things you saw filling Marrakesh's shop, and just literally just a bunch of miscellaneous goods. And people just start swarming towards this cabin and just taking stuff, and they just kind of let him in. He goes, "Ha! You see how the Tinker takes care of you all. I am very happy to see this. Cattell, please." And he starts to walk with Cattell towards the tent. What are you guys doing?
Watching this.
It's go time, I think.
Vin, you're not with us, right?
Should I go grab, my I left my spice in the tent.
Message me.
Yeah, I'm gonna message Vin. He's here, and he's a tiny, slimy goblin, and the meeting's now.
He's a goblin?
Yeah.
You don't think they would have mentioned that? No one mentioned that.
No one
didn't
mentioned
ask.
that.
That's the thing you mentioned.
I know.
If it's a goblin, it's like saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna talk to a bugbear." You mentioned the fact that it's a bugbear.
Yeah.
Well, I can't come to the meeting until you visit me.
I'm on my way back.
All right.
All right, guys, don't go in
I
there
need
without
Kinz.
us.
I need Kinz too.
Oh.
I need to pass without a trace.
Okay, come on, guys.
Hey,
So,
la-di-da-da.
so you're going invisible? Vin's
they're-
invisible?
Vin is going.
Invisible.
Yeah, I'm gonna go invisible and follow them.
Okay.
Shield.
Okay.
Pass without a trace.
Invisible.
Invisibility.
And
Yeah.
Thorkum, you're not going with them at all?
No, I'm not gonna. I am out of this plan. I'm gonna
He's,
say to
he's
Barissa,
halfway back to Portsmouth right now.
Oh my god.
You might want to take out that spyglass to look at the metal friends over there.
Oh yeah.
I do that. I look at them. What do I see? Are there souls?
There are not sores on the machines. No, Valrissa. No. Wrong spyglass.
Dead source.
No, there are no souls inside the machines.
All right.
Okay, that's one question answered. Have fun, guys.
Bye,
Try not to
Thorkum.
get us killed.
All right. I rolled a 30 on stealth. I'm just stealthily
Okay.
walking. along
Ooh,
with them.
Thorkum, if
You
things
just don't
go
exist
bad,
anymore.
Yeah.
A 30.
I
Nice.
can't help you.
Not
No,
bad,
I know,
sir.
but you'll probably hear it, but I'll turn into an eagle and go caw, and then you'll know things are really, really bad. So
I will also cough.
Thanks.
You hear a lot of cawing.
Come running, buddy.
Running where?
I know. He's
You're
like, bye.
literally right over there.
Yeah. So it shouldn't take you long. Okay, bye.
Okay, you walk
Here's
up
some
toward.
candy.
Yeah, paint me a picture here. What are you guys doing? You're walking up to the main tent.
Yeah, just casual stroll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Ziggy be visible because I want to look a little intimidating
Ooh,
with
okay.
him
Okay. Okay.
So Ziggy's
He's-
visible
hanging
And
out
he's-
on my shoulder.
on your shoulder. Okay.
You know, opposite shoulder from Ziggy. I'm not near Ziggy.
You walk up to the tent, and the Sidewinder guards are outside, and the machines that seem to be sort of the main, the honor guard for Valk are just staying with the vehicle. They didn't follow him. He just casually walked across. He seems completely casual and comfortable. As you guys walk up, the Sidewinders see you coming and immediately sort of move off to the side as if they were expecting you. And you walk up, and one of them sort of pulls the curtain aside for you. Inside, you can see that Valk is over next to a table, seems to be pouring a cup of wine. And Cattell looks over. She seems a little bit surprised that you're here, but gives you a nod. Valk, these are the ones that you wanted to be here, and they have joined us, as you requested. And he kind of
Hello.
turns around and he like puts, where are my manners? And he kind of looks at, I am Valk. And he does a bow and he says,
I'm Belrissa.
Belrissa,
She.
Jeshi,
Kinz.
Kinz. It's very nice to meet you. I've traveled a long way, and and he looks at, where are my manners? Can I get you some wine?
Would love some.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good. It's like 10 a.m.
It is like 10 a.m. Yeah. And he kind of walks over and he pours
I've
a
been
couple
drinking
of
for
glasses.
several hours.
And he says, Cattell and I have a lot of business to discuss. But when I heard you were here, I thought that business might include you as well. And I thought it would be a great idea for you to join us. And I must say, I'm thankful that you did. The desert is a dangerous place. There's a lot of things going on here. And we're all working together to make it a better place.
And what do you know about us? How did you hear that we were here?
He says, we have agents all over the desert. We keep tabs on where there are dangers and where there are new things. When we heard you were traversing the dunes, there was only one place you'd be going. I made an assumption. Seems I was right.
Do I believe him? Is there more than he's letting on?
Make an insight check.
Insight. Tell me more, Goblin Man. Oh, natural 20.
Nice.
28.
Natural 20. There's definitely more to that story.
She peers into his soul.
Well, you know what they say when you make an assumption.
No,
You
what
can-
do you say, Jeshi?
Oh,
Please.
dear, Jesse.
No, wait. I don't know. You're
He might not remember the rest of it. It's okay. It's okay.
Something went wrong. It
Yes,
doesn't
I
matter.
am just messing with. I know exactly what you mean.
So,
Good, thank
so
you.
do you meet all groups that travel through the dunes who are new in town, or why us?
My job is to understand everything that's transpiring in the desert so that we can maximize operations. Anybody who comes in who's new here, I like to get to know them, say hello. What we're all trying to do, what the Tinker is trying to do, is make this a safer place. Get rid of the undead, help the people. We just like to know what's going on.
I look over at Cattell while he's saying that for any sort of response or reaction.
She is stone-faced. She doesn't make eye contact with you.
Yeah, who's the tinker?
The tinker is the one I work for. He is the one.
I know that. I mean, like, who is he? Like, who is he? Are you pirates?
Pirates? No. We're not pirates.
Okay.
We are inventors.
Oh. Now, I have a quick question. Are you the ones who sent the thing that, like, attacked us for no reason?
He kind of looks at you. Attacked you for no reason. Please describe
right.
what it is.
I was
mean.
walking. I was just walking. You know how people walk? Boom, robot thing comes out, starts attacking us. We quickly dismantle it.
Also, there were
I'm
spiders
just wondering why. Why did that happen? What did we ever do to you?
He seems to think on that for a second. Spiders. Did you come
Yes.
from the north?
Well, everyone comes from somewhere.
There was someone who stole something very valuable from us, and he was up north, and we've sent agents to retrieve our property. And if you got mixed up in that, then I will personally apologize for any trouble that has caused. I am very sorry. That was never our intention for innocent folk to be mixed up in our affairs.
Good, thank you. I definitely believe you.
He kind of just gives you a nod and he says, he continues making eye contact with you, Jeshi, and he says, Cattell, what do our friends here know about Lazanax? She looks over at him. She says, they know to not go north. They know we have no solution to this dragon problem. And they know you are here to discuss it. He never broke eye contact with you, Jeshi. He says, so you know about our dragon problem, do you? Tell me. And he kind of looks across. He says, what is your interest in dragons?
I don't know, man. I've heard a lot of stories. I don't want to speak for Belrissa or Kinz, but I was, thought it'd be kind of cool to see one and maybe like check out its horde. Maybe be friends with it. I really don't know. I'm open. What is your plan for the dragon?
He he says, that is the problem, Jeshi. We do not have a plan for this dragon, and he has been a huge disruption to our operations. You see, he's an incredible danger to anybody who goes north, which is driving all of our digging to the south.
They're just robots. Who cares?
That's fair, but it slows us down. And he kind of looks at Cattell and he says, it was your job to take care of this, and you've done nothing. And she looks back at him and she says, my job? It was not my job to take care of it. This is a problem for all of us here. And he says, they go back and forth on that for a second. And Thorkum, what are you doing right now? Are you just hanging out?
I'm just keeping an eye on the machines and the crowd, just looking.
Okay.
Not really coming out of the shadows of the yurt, but just there.
doing the just
Nah,
It's like Thorkum.
less nervous this time.
So they kind of have this back and forth where basically it seems like they've been kind of at a stalemate on who's going to
And no, Jay,
deal with the
play it
situation.
out. Go ahead.
I would, but
Gosh.
the old yeah. So yeah, they kind of just it's almost theatrics, right? Like they're just kind of doing this thing going back and forth, kind of this negotiation, this dance of like, each of them trying to get the other one to admit responsibility for taking care of this this massive problem. And you've kind of been relegated to like the side of this little bit of the conversation, and he says, finally, kind of looks back and he says, I guess it is a big problem for all of us then. That's losing my voice. And he starts choking, and he can't talk. And he looks back at Cattell and he says,
One piece of candy?
yeah, sure. He takes one.
There you go.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Now he says, we're going to skip the voice for a second.
Yep.
He looks at Cattell and he says, what about the centaurs? You're supposed to deal with them too. You're supposed to be protecting our operations in this area in exchange for the protection we're giving to these people. Cattell says, similarly, kind of going back and forth. And she is basically, you can kind of tell, as you sort of expected, going into the meeting, that she is being pressured by this guy and by the Tinker to be doing more to protect, as his operations and everything are expanding out here.
Val, can I interrupt you for a sec? What exactly is your operation that is so important? I know you're looking for metal. What are you doing here? That you need all this protection and the desert.
He looks at you and he says,
That is a great question. Our goals are simple, actually. The Tinker is trying to create machines, powerful enough to wipe out the undead. Machines are expendable, as your friend here pointed out. They don't cost lives. They can be rebuilt, adjusted, improved. Every time a machine takes out a Drywalker, that is one person who didn't have to risk their lives. That is our goal. Build as many of them as we can, wipe out the undead, and bring back a world that we can all live in. What is your goal? Tell me. You've come down from the north. Why? What brings you here anyway?
Look over at Jessie.
Waiting for the soup.
Yeah, mostly
comment.
soup. Mostly the soup. So, I mean, I don't know. Everyone's got to be somewhere. This is such a difficult question. Why? Why are we here? We've been many places. We're just trying to, I guess, in a similar way, like live a life that is unencumbered by these undead, the problems of the world. And sometimes that means you have to face those problems head on, and sometimes when you're facing those problems, you wind up places you weren't expecting to go, I guess. I don't know.
So
To be
you're
honest
out
with you, I never
traveling the
even heard of this
world,
place. Yeah.
tackling the undead, trying to create a better place.
Yeah, we're just out there, yeah.
We're not that dissimilar, are we?
No, we're
Our
not. I
goals
haven't
seem
had as
quite
good of
aligned.
success as you have with these pits or whatever. It's harder to do not in the sand. You can't just big pits of undead that's they can get out usually. But it's interesting. So let's say, I don't know, I'm worried because in my view I've already been attacked by a robot. What if you kill all the undead and then you kill me? I'm not there for that,
Sorry, say that again.
Oh, my bad. My internet fuzz out.
No, I just
Oh, I was saying, the thing that worries me isn't the fact that you're, using these robots to control the undead, but I mean, I've already been attacked by one of them. So once the undead are gone, are they going to come for the dwarves?
No, of course not.
No, of course.
We have no incentive to do that.
Oh, okay.
We're simply trying to create a place where people can go back to living their lives. You're a paladin, are you not?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Are you not sworn to some divine power? And does that power not compel you to destroy
I'm working
undead?
on it.
Are you compelled to protect the undead or to destroy them?
Well, I mean, generally I destroy them, yeah. I haven't really protected any.
And he kind of looks at you and he says, "We have more in common than I think you think."
I don't doubt it.
He kind of he starts to pace the room, and he looks back around, and he says, "Our methods might be dirty, but we choose to live in this world, not rebuild a broken past that led us only to ruin. As long as the undead are here, people can't go back to living their lives. And it is our mission to fix that."
Yeah, so, like, why do you think the centaurs and the Aarakocra and the dragons, like, also don't like your robots? It feels like they're kind of, you're talking about, like, problems with centaurs and stuff. Like, I don't know. If your robots only cared about undead, wouldn't the centaurs just leave them alone?
He seems to kind of dismiss your argument outright. Kind of just says "The centaurs are tribal barbarians. Nonsense. Everything we've done has been to protect the people here. They have no right, no more right to those sands than those machines do. They gallop across, saying we're taking their space. It was never theirs to begin with. Everything we've done has been to protect lives and to make this place better. What have they done?"
I think they're just trying to live their lives, like all the people here are. We don't know anything about this area, as you know from your agents. We just got here. What makes you think that we can help with this dragon?
He kind of paces around and kind of puts his hand behind his back, and he says, "I'm not sure if you can help me with this dragon. So far you seem confused and unsure of why you're here." And he looks at you, Kinz, and he says, "And I'd really like to know where your big friend is."
Who? What do you mean?
Don't
I
play
put on
coy
some
with
pounds.
me, Missy. The one you brought. The one you marched through the middle of the market. The one made of metal. The one who once belonged to my master. I don't know how he came to be in your possession, but I'd very much like to hear the story. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no intention of taking him from you. But to see that thing walking around is most interesting to us. And if it's as strong as I believe it to be, perhaps you can take this dragon.
Well, I don't think it's of a surprise to you that, we don't give away everything about ourselves to people we don't understand in this world. I don't really understand people who, I don't know. I don't know what you're about. Very confusing.
Actually, it's quite simple. We're building machines in the desert to kill undead. I've said that several times.
You have said that several times, yes. But I mean, like, what are you really about? Like, what are you really after? Like, it's cool. I mean, like, going after the undead is I'm there for it. I would gladly help, but going after dragons and centaurs, and I don't get it. I don't get that part. Doesn't make any sense to me.
The dragon kills anyone who goes anywhere near it.
Yeah, but
The
dragons have done that
centaurs
forever.
attack our dig sites out of nowhere, unprovoked, claiming we're taking their territory.
Were they not here
see.
first?
Do you know if they were here first?
Yeah.
I think they were.
The
Before
lands of the
robots?
centaurs are deep in the southeast of the desert. Yet they venture into the central territories to harass our work sites and claim that they have right to these lands. The same lands that the Bali actively dig and traverse themselves. Are the Bali killed by the centaur for being on those lands? The centaur are aggressive, stupid animals.
Eddie, don't let him talk about your boyfriend like that.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, the centaur are okay with the Bali, but they're not okay with your robots. I mean, there's got to be a reason why.
And he turns around and he says, "They are stuck in the past. That is why. It is quite simple. Enemies of progress."
I mean, I don't know. Didn't there used to be like tons of robots? I feel like, it's not new.
Long before the centaur were here, these were Thulesh lands. And he says, "You're quite right, Jeshi. Machines used to roam these lands. The Thulesh civilization was filled with them. It was their workforce, their army. They were all over these lands, long before the centaurs had any claim to them. One could argue that we have a stronger claim than they to uncover such things. All
but
I'm
robots aren't
saying
alive.
here is it's a matter of perspective, my friend. The centaur, they do not like change. We are forcefully, aggressively bringing change. Change that will fix this broken world."
Yeah, morality is very rarely a matter of perspective.
He kind of looks at you like, and?
I don't think it's a matter of perspective. But anyway, I mean, what is your plan for the dragon? Maybe we can, assist.
He says,
Maybe we'll assist the dragon. Maybe we'll assist you. I don't
yeah.
know.
And he turns around with his hands clasped behind his back and he says, "As I said, bring your friend here, and we will discuss the dragon further."
Yeah.
At that moment, you hear a horn blowing, and a few seconds later, a few more horns begin to blow. Thorkum, you hear this. Thorkum, you look up and you can see that the Sidewinder guards that are up on top of these big stone walls have all started to reach down and are blowing into what look to be some sort of horn or instrument that they had at their waist. You're not sure, Thorkum, what's going on, but everybody has immediately started to kind of mobilize and move around. And Cattell sort of instinctively puts her hand on her weapon, and you just see Valk, he just goes, just like super annoyed. And Cattell looks at you and she says, "There is a storm coming. We need to get below."
Okay, we'll meet you down there.
And that's where we'll go ahead and end for tonight.
Oh, that storm we saw.
Well,
So I
Alright.
don't need to stab him right now. We can wait till next episode for that.
You don't need this stuff.
Oh, maybe Kinz can control the storm and go lightning, lightning, lightning.
Like a violin.
Oh, maybe.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Are our Ink and Liar friends still going, or did they
Oh,
probably
yeah.
wrapped up before us?
Let's see. I don't see them online. No, they went offline.
Who we raiding?
Horns for a storm. That is not what I thought was going to happen there. That's all right though. I thought you might be bringing the dragon to us. Anybody else like think that?
Oh, the dragon is in the storm.
Ah,
It's
there
like
you
a
go.
Sharknado.
There you go. It's a dragnado.
Let's see. I think like the last 4 times we've raided somebody, they've either like been offline immediately
Or ended early, like
Yeah.
right after we got there. Yeah.
Yeah, or one of them you couldn't chat for 10 minutes. I guess there's like no
Oh
way
man,
to like
yeah, that was
tell
crazy.
on that one though. Let's see. How about
Chat. You need to start. We need to start figuring out who our raid buddies need to be.
Raid
Yeah.
buddies.
all right?
Yeah, we were able to raid. Who did we raid on Saturday?
Friggin' nerds.
Friggin' nerds. That's right. Yep.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
Just say it with all the angst you want.
yeah.
Nerds.
Friggin' nerds.
All right, sweet.
Friggin' nerds.
Queued
Narwhal
up for
Gaming?
Narwhal Gaming.
Aw.
What is this?
The title
My
of
old
their
softball team used to be the Narwhals.
Oh, nice. All right, awesome, man. That voice killed me. I didn't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I practiced that. I was like,
See?
you should not have
I'm
committed
gonna
to
kill
doing
him
that.
for you, Jay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
let's,
kill him for you,
so
and then
you
you don't.
never
have
Maybe
to
this
do that
NPC
ever
doesn't
again.
stick around that long. I don't know. We'll find. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I was like, but yeah, hey, thanks for if you're still here from the raid. Thanks a lot for stopping by. That was super cool, you guys. We're here every Saturday.
Yeah.
Wait, what day is it? It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Every
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, here every Wednesday.
Our D&D game is Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Central, and we have our after show on the weekends on Saturday. We do all sorts of stuff. Normally talk about the game, talk about crazy conspiracy theories. Sometimes we play games, all sorts of awesome stuff. So we're always there. You can find all our back episodes on YouTube if you haven't seen those before. And yeah, we're going to hit this raid button in a few seconds.
It was a great voice, Jay. Sorry, it's gonna have to die.
And I'm going to pause here for a second and let things catch up. And
Until next time.
Until next time, good luck with your bad plans.
With your bad plans.